Welcome, everyone, to Our Town Podcast. Please take a moment to like and subscribe, share if you can, and review if available. We'd love to hear from you, so comment below and tell us how we're doing. Don't forget to visit ourtownpodcast.com for all the links and join the members-only section of the website or sign up on Patreon. Now here are the boys of Our Town Podcast.
We are currently recording.
Yeah, thanks for your patience, everybody. Although you didn't know what was happening behind the scenes, so we got a new video and audio setup, so we're pretty stoked. So this is the first night of it.
Yes.
And if it doesn't work, we blame Jeff.
Fingers crossed.
So that's what we do. Well, welcome everybody to another exciting edition of Our Town Podcast.
The extraordinaire.
Boys, episode 128 tonight, which is just crazy.
That's crazy
Which
talk.
is fun. And boys, tonight's safe word is feeling good.
Nice.
So if anybody is not feeling safe, just yell, feeling good.
Yes,
and we'll stop this here.
With the body motion.
You got to do the body motion. And you folks can do it at home. Just yell out, feeling good. Hit pause on your device. Take a few deep breaths. Maybe get the airbag going. And then hit play when you're ready. And this is because I saw a post, which I thought was good. This is from a person named Your Woke Auntie.
Oh.
And she wrote, it's wild to me that I can marry a random man today and give him health insurance, but I can't provide my sister health insurance or my grandmother. The American idea of who is family and who do we care for doesn't make sense to me. Also, everyone should have universal health care.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah.
We're still practicing.
So perfect. So if you're not feeling safe, just yell it out, boys.
Feeling good.
That's true, though. I mean, it's weird that you can...
Well, because there's a different legality between spouses than there is between siblings.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
But still.
But why is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
And we wouldn't have to jump through all these friggin' hoops.
Oh, no, the universal
If we just
health
had
thing? No,
universal
it's
healthcare.
no. There's no reasonable reason for
No.
it, right? It's just a money thing.
There's some unreasonable reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to throw it to Jeff real quick because you're the one that's had most of the health scares and stuff recently.
Yeah.
How has the American Health Insurance Company treated you recently?
Well, it's a fascinating thing that I'm going through with regard to Bartell's. That's where I get my medication normally. Is Bartell's, and my insurance company is now not taking or not accepting like my certain medications like insulin at Bartell's, but they are at CVS. So now I got to go to CVS. I got to get the transfer from from Bartell's to CVS. And the challenge they're having at CVS now is that now I have to have it reauthorized. I have to have a pre-authorization
From
for
all your
those drugs
doctors
from all
and
my
everybody.
doctors, exactly, and get that whole process.
And you can't give
updated.
business to Bartell's, which I think is still local. Right?
Yeah, I think they're
No.
about done. Yeah, they
No,
filed.
they got bought by
did
Rite
they?
Aid, and I think Rite Aid's done.
Rite Aid's done. Yeah,
Yeah.
you go in there. The one in Fairwood, there's
Yeah.
just absolutely nothing on
So
the
with
shelf.
the sky high prices, because we hear it and experience it all the time, of medications, etc., how are these places going out of business? Right? It's like, I think because it's the middle management there, the price something, the PMTs or the something like that actually set the prices that these drugs can be sold for in certain markets and such.
Correct.
And so I think they were dependent upon like selling chapstick at the front of the store. Right, in the markup items, the point of sale stuff, candy bars, film, stuff like they branched out to all that other stuff because I think they're getting choked out in just the price.
Right.
Because they have to pay just in general, drugstores in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not just the largest ones because the smallest ones were the first to go. Remember A&H and stuff like that.
All your
right?
local.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they were huge.
Benson's
Rexall.
Pharmacy on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Do those ladies. Had my pictures developed there and got a picture of me and my buddy. We probably 15, 16 years old, but we were in our swim trunks and just standing. And she thought I looked a lot like the Boz. This is when the Boz came to Seattle.
That's nice.
For some reason, I'm like,
the handsome
like
fella.
the Boz. But she's like, can I make an extra copy of that photo and put it in the frame? So it was my first modeling gig, guys. At Benson's Pharmacy on Capitol 19th and Aloha. And Mr. Benson was a longtime Seattle council member, city council member. But yeah, I was in the frame for maybe a year, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, so you were like in people's subconscious mind.
Yeah, when they were shopping for frame. Oh, not that one.
Not how. That's very, very cool.
Nice, yeah. I just think that it's a broken.
It is.
Well, the only thing that's holding Rite Aid and Bartell's together right now is the pharmacy.
Yeah,
because there's like 80% of the goods and goods inside the store are non-existent.
They're cleared out. Yeah.
Well, because they're bankrupt, right? Yeah. So they
sold everything out.
You can't get any more products from those purveyors.
They're not provided.
Yeah. The ones that are giving them, maybe they've got backlog of some of the items.
Maybe in the warehouse or something.
Yeah. But it's a ghost town in there.
Here's some chips from.
Yeah. What concerns me is that CVS, the likes of CVS and these bigger, it's just they're gobbling them up and going down to like one or two.
Yeah.
What happens then? It's the same old.
Online, I guess, right?
You'll have
a drone deliver it to you. You won't even have to talk to a human.
Well, just talking about prices, like if we're
then they could set it however the fuck they want. Exactly. There's zero competition. Right. But I think the competition was being choked out by those middle managers of the insurance companies that set those prices.
Correct.
I can't remember if it's PMT or it's not DMT because people like that. Something like that, though.
Mother Ayahuasca.
Yeah.
And, well, what do you mean PMT? Or
it's whatever role that is in the company. Those are the guys who set, and I don't think they're in the insurance companies per se. They're kind of in the pharmaceutical where those two things meet up.
Got it.
Where
those are the guys
they're the
that
ones
get
that are
together.
make the decisions.
And kind of set prices, right? They're like the OPEC of drugs.
Yeah. And you can go into a pharmacy and into a hospital, and you can ask for the prices of those things because there's different savings programs that like Rite Aid has that you can go ahead and just ask for. So if you're out there and you're trying to get some cheaper drugs, just ask and they'll give you cheaper drugs.
Yeah, you can sure try to.
Buy 10 Viagra, get one free.
That's how I learned.
It's our rock hard sale.
Nice.
Jeff, hit your picture there.
I am.
I can't see it.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason, we need to fix that.
We just want to make sure that people know.
But it's a real thing, though. It's actually, so you're going to be included in this episode?
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about, people.
On the actual recording, OBS, I'm showing up. Yep. So,
boys, you want to do some headlines?
It's been a long week, dude. It's only been a week since we last sat down.
I know.
I mean,
there's so much.
What?
Leading off with the biggest story is the U.S. Airstrikes on Iran. Which a lot of people are calling out as an illegal attack on a sovereign nation.
Well, yes. And, yes. I mean, come on. And he didn't. Yeah, you got to. That's Congress's job.
Yes.
And even with the War Powers Act, as it stands, you still have to consult with Congress.
Yes.
Right.
And I hear that he is even dragging his feet to even get with the security committees in Congress to give them a rundown,
a briefing or whatever.
Briefing of what
but
happened.
he also, because he's just going with his gut.
Yeah.
That's why there's been zero evidence shown that they were working on the actually nuclear weapon part or anything else like that.
Right.
It's
right. And his own intelligence committee is like, I mean, you bomb the shit out of those areas, use like 30 of those 30.
I think it was 12 of them.
Was it
30,000 pound bombs? There's like 30 in existence.
30,000 pound bombs?
Yeah, because they bore in a little bit first. They do almost like a claymore where they blow out
part of the mountain to get it
to then detonate secondarily. Yeah.
And it's
30 like Tony Stark's when he goes like that and there's that explosion.
I don't know. But I think they already had moved their 60% in risk.
Committee's like, I don't think we decimated. They may be down for a few months. But
depending. Did the centrifuges themselves, of which there's a gazillion, right? Did those get damaged and or obliterated? We don't know. And just the point is,
People were killed.
yeah, and how come to do such a radical act that can have such large repercussions, one direction or the other? No proof is necessary.
yeah.
Where's the yellow cake uranium?
Well-
like they lied us into the last time, right? It's like, where's any proof?
Gung ho into Iraq with the
Yeah.
weapons of mass destruction.
There was just a lie, dude. Yeah.
Everything
Yeah, the
was a
yellow
lie.
cake. Remember Colin Powell
Yes.
just had to fucking
Yes.
be a good soldier and bite the bullet and lie to everybody.
Yes.
And you could tell his body language when he was doing it. You know what I mean?
And then
it's
all
like,
these Democrats too were like, "Well, it seems
Yeah,
okay
yeah.
to me." you
Yeah,
know?
because it's still the same lobby.
Yeah,
Speaking in their ear too, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh yeah. I mean, if y'all want to get money, invest in Lockheed Martin
Yes.
right now, dude.
Yeah.
Do it. And Raytheon and all the bad guys that do this kind of shit. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
But on the other hand, Iran does not need a nuke, man.
no,
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't think, but it sure works. They now see that, they can't trust Western power to hold their deals. Because we had a deal that Obama had signed.
Yes.
There were inspectors on the ground. They were not doing what they had done after it got torn up.
Right.
That's when the enrichment happened again.
yes, yeah,
But again, the enrichment is not the same as a weapons program.
Yeah.
Whether or not they had a weapons program going, let's see some proof, I believe it.
Yeah.
The Ayatollah didn't okay it officially, right? But I don't know. It kind of makes sense because it helped. And when's the last time we invaded North Korea?
right, yeah,
Right? Because they got
Yeah.
nukes, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or how about Pakistan? Or right? It does work as a deterrent, but they're also surrounded on all sides by potential enemies with Sunnis, let alone Western power, let alone Israel.
Right.
So it's like, and the minute we started talking about regime change, if they had a nuke or they still had gas left over from the Iran-Iraq war, they would have used it.
Yeah.
Right? The minute the government really feels like they're in trouble, of course they're going to lob gas at fucking Israel. Right?
exactly, yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah, because most of the missiles that Iran has been sending into Israel, they've been handling it. They've been taking them out.
until they don't.
Yeah.
Right? So, and sooner or later, I mean, it takes an incredible amount of munitions and other missiles to. The missile shields is highly intensive. It's not like
Huge cost.
yeah,
for
but that's
both
why
sides.
they just within the last few months when they're going after Hezbollah, et cetera, they also were going into Iran and blowing up their manufacturing. But guess where else they buy them from? China.
Yeah.
China is the biggest customer for Iranian oil.
Right.
Right. It's like. But that was also the deal we had made. We also had Europe, the EU, France, Russia. They're also biggest trading partner, and China. We're all in on that
On the deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's not a good deal.
Well, it was. And so now the best excuse they could come up with is like, well, we just wanted to bring them back down to the Stone Age. So now that they have to make a deal with us.
Yeah.
Because they have no position of power to
And
not
what's the deal they're
do
going to
it.
make? Going to be very similar to the one that was.
I would think so. And or they're not going to make a deal, and they're just going to really hurry up to make a dirty bomb.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause to make a missile that can carry enough nuclear goop to really be a nuke, it's going to take them time because they weren't there anyway.
Right.
Right? But to go from 60% to 80% or 90 or whatever it needs to be, if they can get the centrifuges, they're most of the way there with that.
Right.
So that's weeks in between if they can get the equipment and or have it still. I don't know, but I don't know. I think he just saw that it was looking good on Fox, and he's like, "No, I'm going to get in front of this, so I look like a hero."
Yeah, and it was kind of weird because he went up to the G7 in Canada and then came back early, and everybody speculated it had something to do because
it's a big deal. Yeah,
and it kind of felt like, oh, I got to get in on this action.
I think that's kind of what it was. Because he's not known for thinking things through.
No.
And 20 years down the road, right, and stuff like that, it's like, I don't know, man. Talk to Congress, show us proof, show the American people proof, and talk to Congress. And they have specific committees dealing with intelligence. It's set up specifically for that. And this obviously wasn't that. They didn't have a nuke within 48 hours.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was by no means that type of emergency. By zero means that kind of emergency.
Yeah.
No, or they would certainly have shown us that proof. The missile coming out on the track.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever, with the radiation signature and blah, 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 blah. Right? Nope, none of that. So
No, it's all a false.
yeah, it's
flag
nonsense.
for-
Yeah. But good thing they're cutting off 17 million Americans' health care.
A little distracting.
No money, because we don't have money.
Yeah.
We got to avoid waste, fraud, and abuse.
Well, we got to give tax breaks to billionaires.
And an extra, I think, $160 billion extra to the Pentagon.
Yeah.
So it's for the first time,
For
it's a
toilet seats and
$1 trillion
mirrors.
Pentagon budget. $1 trillion Pentagon budget.
Yeah, talk about
Remember when
overspending.
Yeah, man. Remember when the pandemic hit us really bad and people's lungs were melting? And the military that we've spent trillions on, they had 2 boats.
Yeah.
We got 2 hospital boats that we can kind of get to you eventually.
Yeah.
That's all they had to offer.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, there's
So what
basically-
exactly is the defense part of the Defense Department? Right? It's like that was really disappointing in telling.
You're
Yeah.
bringing up some good points. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what Mike's good at.
I'm angry now.
I'm just tired.
My cortisol levels are going up.
But my point, we can do better.
Yes, absolutely.
Always.
That's the key. Is we.
Yeah, certainly.
We
That's
all,
100% the key.
Not just a couple of us.
Yeah, geez, boys. In more good news, Killer Bees.
No good.
You remember Killer Bees? I mean, it was like the
to the
90s,
Houston Astrodome.
right?
It's a movie.
Yes.
They
It
made
was
a movie about that.
Africanized honeybees. They're now found in 13 states, and I think most of them are South and Southwest states. But they're slowly spreading north because the Earth is heating.
And are they a hybridized bee? Could they just mate with
No.
because we have mostly the Italian 3-banded here and these other Russian bees,
Sure.
depending on east of the mountains or west of the mountains, right?
Yeah.
In Washington State. But
I
I wonder
don't
if they
know.
hooked up with some of those Ruski bees. Would they have a more ability to move? I don't know.
Come on, comrade. We're going to Washington now. That was a stereotypical Russian accent. I apologize if anybody's offended on that. But these bees, they're not bigger and stronger. They're just more aggressive, is
they're
my understanding.
a cross between a hornet and a honeybee, right?
Yeah. So they are more aggressive in defending the colony, basically. But they've known to attack people, livestock, and pets. They'll actually follow victims up to a mile.
Oh,
If
man.
you
Yeah.
run into it and they get annoyed, and you're like, fuck it, start running away, they're going to follow your ass.
And they fly faster than most humans can sprint, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think I could run a mile anymore. Anyway,
No, I'd be dead.
I've got a vision in my vision like they're coming at you and then they just huck their ass at you.
yeah, just like the cartoons.
Yeah, in the cartoon. Yeah.
So the 90s, which we'll be talking about later today, was kind of the first alarms and all the headlines.
Yeah.
Oh my God, in the movie that you talked about, the Houston Astrodome.
Yeah, so good.
They're actually saying that, we could be looking at southwestern Oregon within a few years.
Yeah, that would suck if they pushed out regular honeybees, because those certainly are going for the same food groups, the same territories, et cetera, right?
What is the criteria to be a killer bee?
Just the level of aggression.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
'Cause,
it's an African bee.
How dare you, sir?
So they're on steroids or
Yeah,
something
they're
like
just
that?
more
They're
aggressive because a
more
honeybee won't sting you unless it feels contained, because it just likes to be able to move. So if you hold it too tight, even without squishing it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or if you accidentally squish one, then the others can respond. Right? But they typically will not go after you. I've had them go after me when they were getting ready to swarm. One of my hives, second queen was born.
Oh, wow.
So part of the hive goes, and whenever you see a swarm out in nature, which Mary just did the other day, and her mom and I did a month ago, that means that they're following that second queen. One of the queens is left, either the new one or the old one. But
To go
yes,
establish
so a
another
scout bee
hive.
had gone out, and once the scout bee leaves, inside they're kind of debating who's going where. Right, which is all by smell, right? Because they don't really have. You can't. It's too dark in there to see a raising of the hands. But they tend to get aggressive because some of them don't have a home, right? So, but some of them do, And so they get a little more oddly aggressive.
Does the one hive know that these are like outsiders and they say no and they block certain...
If a bee from another hive comes in, they get blocked at the door.
Because they know by smell.
You can just smell them right off the bat.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It's a trip.
It's a trip.
It's a trip.
So they go off by twos, guys. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Okay, all the twos, you're out.
Yeah.
What was I?
Yeah, it's intense.
Sure.
It's intense.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And then the scout bees go find some habitat, which is either an attic or a stump or something, and the rest of them, you'll see them just clump. First a swarm, and then they'll form a clump.
Like what Mary was
on a branch, yeah.
She showed
exactly
that
like
video.
that, yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, she goes, I'm in it.
Yeah.
How do they know
I've
which
seen it a few
scouts?
times.
Because like 5 scouts go out, and then one day's like, nah, dude, mine. Telling you, bro, we got extra bedrooms.
Because they can tell you, remember, when bees go out, and I think mostly the scouts, are men. Are they? Maybe not. They might be the same female bees that collect. But when they go to get something, that's the bee dance, right? So they go find a great field of flowers, right? That the nectar flows just happening, temperature is great, which means that the nectar flow is happening. So there's sugar, there's all this kind of stuff happening. They go back to the dark fucking hive and dance out precisely where it is.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah. So the scouts do the same thing with the new crib. So I guess then they decide which of these new cribs is the
who's
best.
the better dancer.
Yeah. It's all comes once again, Jeff.
Dude,
it
3
all comes to
stories,
dance.
recently updated. Foundation looks great.
Yeah, not haunted.
It's got a great school district.
Yeah. It's a trip in the dark.
That's
so
crazy.
through motion, that then gets communicated to other bees and or scent.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I love it. Anyway.
Nice.
Thanks.
Well, speaking of science, boys, scientists have discovered some previously unknown species of sea spiders.
What
This
again?
is why sea spiders. This is why I don't swim in the ocean. That could be teaming up with bacteria
I
to
know
thrive
it.
off of methane gas that's coming up out of the ocean floor.
So they're coming through the toilet, is what I'm hearing.
Spiders.
Sea spiders.
So the methane comes up, the bacteria gets onto the methane, and then the spider, the bacteria transforms into sugars and proteins, and then the spiders eat those. So they're just scurrying around. So basically, you've got methane-eating spiders. That are able, but they're on the ocean floor.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
But it's kind of cool to think that, I don't know how
are
much
we just talking
methane-
about like little crabs or?
Yeah, what's a sea spider
I don't-
exactly?
Spider.
Fuck,
I don't know.
I'm not a
Who's
scientist.
got the Google?
I've got a visual of it. and it's
Not good at all.
Never
Yeah.
good. If it's
I'm
a
picturing
spider-
them small little microbes.
Yeah, they're still bastards.
And this is actually off our west coast.
Oh, of
this is
course it
thousands
is.
and thousands of
Yeah.
feet.
Oh,
below
okay.
the surface.
I'm never down there.
Yeah. You're not scuba down there.
I'm never down there.
Yeah, it is the big slow suit.
Right.
But I don't know if there's some way to. I mean, they must have had to send a probe down. They sent the.
Yeah.
Have
Let's
you
go
seen
look for
those?
sea
Have you
spiders.
seen those guys that have been going down? I don't know how many hundreds of millions of miles down there they're going, but they're going a long ways down, and they're seeing things that, these things that light up and have what is that? Bioluminescence and that
Neat.
sort of thing, and they just kind of they're like squid and
Undulating and weird and cool.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, it's a whole different universe.
Yeah.
2 words for that.
Yeah.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, said Jason first.
We got to get him down. Meg 2.
In case there's anything needs
All right,
kicking.
guys, it's good now. Come on down.
Oh man,
Jesus.
yeah, it is. It's a fascinating world, and we discussed this many times. But like, it's much more stable than this crazy crust they were on.
Yes.
right. So those guys can have a pretty well undisturbed environment for millions of years.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
Until we get,
yeah.
our
until we
little
go down. There's a Wendy's and shit in the corner. All this.
Yeah. You pull up in your submarine. Yeah. You roll down your
Get a
window.
Frosty. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Frosties
took
are
it a
good,
little
though.
too far.
It's a hell of a commute, right? Jeez, I wonder what that Wendy's burger cost. Scientists are also, and this is kind of weird because I always think of, whenever I think of the Antarctic, I always think of the Thing, right?
Oh,
So scientists are trying to
Kurt
solve a
Russell.
decade-long mystery. It seems that NASA did this experiment. It's called ANITA. It's Antarctic Impulse impulsive transient antenna. So basically picture these like hot air balloons that are traversing the Antarctic, and they're picking up radio waves and other stuff. And most of the time it's from neutrinos that have landed and bored down into the Earth. Yeah. But this is a strange radio wave that they believe is not a neutrino. It's been happening. They've discovered it, I think, like 2001-ish.
Don't answer that call, bro. Do not answer that call.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah. But it suggested that whatever's emitting this signal is bored 1,000 miles down through 1,000 miles of earth and ice. And
what do you mean
buried.
bored?
Well, that's where it's at.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever's down there.
I don't know how a neutrino would, and radio waves, I don't know how those would be related.
Small. I mean,
they're kind of massless particles, right? Because they travel.
Yeah.
Right? They're as close to being massless as anything can be.
They're going through us right now.
By the gazillions, and they can kind of see them like miles, at the bottom of the ocean or whatever, see effects of them.
Right. That's how they measure.
Bonkers. So, but regardless.
So the scientists don't believe this is a neutrino, but it is putting out radio waves.
Crazy.
It's emitting through the earth, through the ice, and they're able to pick it up. So
wow.
I'm with you. I don't know if they've discovered some kind of pattern, but
sure.
Obviously, if it's radio waves, it's got to be some kind of
lock the door over and over.
Get flamethrowers, right? Get them at the ready.
When someone upstairs says, the attic says, come upstairs. You're like, well, I'm out.
I'm out. Nope.
Yeah. Nope. Listen to your gut.
Oh my gosh. Well, also kind of in the same vein, and this was kind of a weird story, scientists were able to shine a light through a human head.
Oh, good.
When
they did that to me when I was a kid, just ear to ear.
How many lumens was that? That wasn't your normal 650 watt bulb.
So there is a method called functional near-infrared spectroscopy.
Jesus Christ.
Right? But it measures how the brain can absorb this light. And usually it only goes like a few centimeters into the brain.
Yeah.
And it's basically a scan, right?
Yeah.
So they took a fair-skinned person with a bald head, and they were able to go all the way through the dense brain matter. Hopefully the guy had something. Maybe it was just a little wonky.
A lot of water and fats in there. It's like shooting a light through a...
And this was the University of Glasgow in Scotland, of course.
They found a pale person.
Why are they doing this?
It's basically, think of like an MRI.
Yeah.
Right. So you're able to shoot the light in.
Yeah.
And
you're not. The MRI is basically doing magnetic.
Yeah, through magnetic
but
through magnets.
So this is an infrared spectrum.
This is with light.
With light. Yeah.
So
you can get in,
spectrum,
you can see the brain. You can.
So if you can get in there with light, you can get in there and change things, just like you could with the frequencies of, like for example, this thing, which is
that uses an infrared signal too. As a matter of fact,
infrared signal.
I don't know where that is in the spectrum world comparatively. Right?
No, I mean it's obviously way different, smaller, much smaller. But you don't have to get up off the couch, right? So you can go ahead and change the channel on your TV. But that process, that light, is a light emitting diode. It's an LED basically, and the information is transferred in that. Right. Yeah. So if they're able to use light, and they're able to get into the brain, that sounds like a demonic thing to do.
Yeah. And wouldn't it be hot? Because the infrared lamps are what you put the food under. You know what I mean? So like they're just like, it smells like just bacon in the room all of a sudden. It's like,
you thought tinnitus was bad.
Like,
ringing in the ears? How about bacon in the ears?
Yeah.
The guy survived, so I'm
well, I hope.
For now, but
jeez.
They gave him $8
but if you can
pints.
Put information into the light waves, right? You might be able to change people's thoughts and perceptions.
Yeah, and I thought this would just be for like you shine a light and you can scan what it's.
You look for something.
Look for stuff. Yeah.
Like a higher resolution
Beats me. Yeah.
of MRI or whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And maybe.
Well, that's what they're going to sell it to us as.
yeah.
Just lay down on this table.
Yeah, look at this bright fucking thing.
Shave your head.
Has anybody else been recently just doom scrolling on their phones more than they ever have? Like in the last month or so?
Well, just going through my news feed is kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But more so than you have in the last, 6 months?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it increased? Mine's increased incredibly.
The news, yeah, for sure. The bad news, for sure.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I've been watching more. I started watching Midas Touch and stuff like that because they do keep up on the daily news stuff. And they're good synopsis of stuff, right? And I haven't read a lot of news magazine because that forces me to kind of sit. You know what I mean? I guess I sit if I'm scrolling, but you know what I mean. I like the reading of stuff, right? For me, because it kind of slows me down. I still get pissed, but it blurt, but it slows me down. Scrolling doesn't slow me down.
Yeah. I just have noticed my own personal uptake or increase in that. I used to be able to just turn it off, but I just for whatever reason,
Just can't. You gotta.
Yeah, it's like a dopamine hit that I'm actually need or something.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they got that infrared light in my brain.
They're beaming it in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, geez, I don't know, because cameras have a front camera. Is it, I don't know, is there any infrared on that? I think there would be, right? It has no distancing, and however it's focusing in on it, it's not just...
Well, your phone has...
Because it bounces something off your face to get the light, right?
Right. On your phone, you've got a LiDAR...
Right?
LiDAR, which is, I don't know what the fuck that is, but that's basically proximity, right?
Yeah.
Distance, 3D world processing. And then there's another one on there that's infrared light. Like if you turn off all the lights and you do an infrared camera and you take a look at this, you see this flashing all the time, right? At least I've seen that redone a few times. So who knows what this thing is doing.
Is that the 5G cancer that we're all...
Yeah, it's the...
I don't know.
The 5G jab.
It's listening to me.
It's the
Can you guys give me a
5G
second?
jab.
I got to do some scrolling.
That's how they get the nano. He needs his dopamine.
I need the nanos. Yeah.
Jesus.
I need a 4-chroma nano.
Jeez. Boys, I'm sure you've watched Sanford and Son. Did you ever watch The Waltons?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. When I was a kid.
I don't think that was a primary, though.
No, yeah.
No.
Well, rest in peace, Lynn Hamilton, 95 years old.
Atta
Good
girl.
long life. Actress known for her roles on Sanford and Son. She was Fred's girlfriend, Donna. I don't really remember that character, but I do remember on The Waltons she played the neighbor, Verdi.
Oh.
Miss Verdi.
All right.
Ms. Verdi.
That was John Boy, right? And
John Boy.
Yeah.
Right.
And she was the actor, the characters, they were married. There was the black couple.
Yeah.
That would
They were
come
neighbors
visit
to the
once
Waltons,
in a
yeah.
while. So
Did they, and what time period were the Waltons?
70s.
Like the
when they
1930s
took-
or
yeah,
something?
it was
Yeah.
Depression.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
when
Yep,
it was
Yep.
depicted. I don't know. I have no idea.
So like 50 years after Little House or something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, something to be able to keep you guys scared, keep everybody scared that another depression is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
Like the day after.
binge watch
Yeah.
that so I can
yeah.
pick my moonshine or whatever I need to.
Yeah, moonshine should be top of the list,
I mean,
bro.
you can sell it. You can use it as medicine.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can drown your sorrow.
Oh, yeah. No,
all in
no,
the same jug.
Clean a wound.
Yeah.
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 Wound.
Ow!
Also, another actor passed away. Rest in peace, Gaylord Sartain. I know this guy because I'm a big fan of the movie Fried Green Tomatoes, which had Kathy Bates.
Oh, yeah.
This guy played her husband in that movie. So if you remember that she was like remodeling the house to move Jessica Tandy in, and he comes in, he's like, "What are you doing?" Kind of stuff. His first acting role was on a local Tulsa, Oklahoma TV station. I kind of picture this as like an early MS3 Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Sure.
Or like a Dr. Demento, where they would watch a movie and then he was like this crazy character wizard guy that would come out on local television.
And comment.
But another
a great
actor from starred with him, Gary Busey, was on the
geez.
same show.
Busey.
Well, this guy got an offer from Hee Haw to come on to Hee Haw. And at first he was like, I don't really want to leave Oklahoma and go to, Nashville and do all that kind of stuff. That's where the Grand Ole Opry is, right?
I think so, yeah.
But the money was too much. So he went and he did like 20 some years.
Wow.
On Hee Haw. He started as kind of a background character,
Yeah.
but then became sort of a fan favorite. So he did that for mass amount
Jeez.
of time. He was also in the Buddy Holly story, the one that Gary
with
Busey
Gary won an
plays.
Oscar for.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I don't know what character. I can't remember if he was one of the band members or something. He was in The Outsiders,
Oh, man.
the movie The Outsiders.
With Tom Cruise and
all the
everybody,
kids.
yeah.
The Rat
Remember
Pack.
when the church was burning and the kids were in the church? He was like the principal or something that was like, you kids are great because they help save the kids and all that.
jeez.
And so, I mean, he had a huge career.
Yeah.
And I found out that he was also a phenomenal illustrator. He did a bunch of record albums, including for Leon Russell. So I'm like, where's this guy coming from? It was just a
What did he
really
do on Hee
talented
Haw?
guy.
Was he just an actor?
Yeah,
talent?
just an actor,
Okay.
comedian.
He didn't play like a banjo, like
I
that sort of thing.
No, I mean,
Might be worth finding out. Yeah, geez, I should start watching fucking. You want to feel better about shit?
Yes,
Watch
Hee Haw.
some Hee Haw.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Plus, he got Roy Clark, man.
Yes.
Oh, he could.
Who was in-
pitch.
super talented.
What in the world?
Wow.
He's from a different planet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he didn't have any like scandals or anything, did he?
not that I'm aware of.
Not that
And
I'm
the
aware.
Mini Pearl, maybe just like
Yeah.
a little.
Well,
Green
is that
room action?
scandalous? I don't know.
I don't know. The Hee Haw
maybe.
girls were always something too.
Oh my god!
I don't know why my dad always kicked me out of the room when Hee Haw.
They were
Like, get
because
outta
they
here,
were going to
kid.
build a fence. I don't know.
Yeah. And I forgot he was also. You remember the Jim Varney, the Ernest Goes to Whatever movie? He's in like 3 of them.
Oh, man.
Guy had a huge career. Died at 81. Passed away at 81.
Oh, shucks.
So,
Well,
Here's
geez.
to him.
yeah.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. That's a big.
Wow.
Something to be proud of. Yeah.
Yeah, he's obviously
good
a
work.
stand-up guy and reliable and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so he keeps
I
getting
think
called
so.
upon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, rest in peace, Mick Ralphs,
yeah.
81. He's founding member of Mott the Hoople and Bad Company. He also wrote or co-wrote a bunch of both bands' hits and stuff. So,
What's
all
a
the
Bad
young
Company?
dudes.
What's a Bad Company song? I'm just drawing a blank right now.
Can't get enough. Of
Yeah, love, da-da-da-da. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Feel like making love.
Making love. There you go. Let's go. Let's go.
Bad company.
Bad
The other day I
Company
died.
was picked up by. It was kind of a super group, a little bit.
Yeah, kind of, because it's
Because what's his face from
free and all
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
people consider him to be like,
the best
Yes.
singer, rock and
Paul
roll
Rogers.
singer. Paul Rogers. They got picked up by
people.
Peter Grant, who was Led Zeppelin's
sure.
manager.
Yep.
And then they were the first non-Led Zeppelin band to sign with Swanson Records.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin created.
Oh, they did.
well, it wasn't Ginger Baker on drums, but it's
No,
yes, but the whole gang was there.
They
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
are like classic rock radio staple.
Yeah,
So
totally.
and and then Mott the Hoople,
Oh, yeah.
they didn't really have a hit.
Well, all the young dudes,
until
I
all
guess.
the young dudes.
Yeah, that was
So,
huge.
David Bowie, I guess, was a big fan of Mott the Hoople when they were doing more sort of bluesy stuff. And then,
yeah, like-
I've never heard of Montahoop.
Oh fuck, man!
Yeah.
Or have
what's
I?
the piano
Ian-
jag in a? It's not 17 miles to Memphis. What is it? That fucking song rocks,
yes.
dude, and it's got one of the best piano jags.
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
The production's great.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
mad at them.
So
they're
they
not my
were-
go-to of the glam period, but
they were
they're
just
on
not
the top.
hitting. They were
Yeah.
they put out 2 or 3 albums. They were not
Robin
hitting.
Hunter right now.
But David Bowie was a big fan, and he's like, "Oh, you guys don't want to break up." And he came in and he wrote all the young dudes for them.
Oh.
What's the Young Dudes? I don't even know what that is.
All the young dudes carry
the news.
Da,
that
da,
one.
da, da.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Bowie jam, and I think he plays sax on a couple of their songs.
He probably does. Yeah. So So yeah, he was a big fan. Gave him that. Mick Ralphs left, I think, after that album, or maybe he did one more. So early '70s, he took off, and they kept going.
And Bad Company's what, 78 something?
Oh, I think 74.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, because Free was, I guess.
Yeah, Desolation Angels album.
man,
and
yeah.
The Bad Co. Classic.
Oh, yeah.
Graphic. Yeah.
Huh. But yeah, geez.
I'm learning something new every day.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up, because
So
I
81
like
years
saying the
old,
word
man.
Monte Hoople.
Jeez, and he was about to be inducted, if anybody cares, about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Later this year, he was set. Bad Company was set to be inducted.
Did he know
Well,
that?
that's it.
Yeah, he would have known by then.
Good.
Yeah.
I think he had a stroke about 10 years ago or something, so he hasn't been doing super well health-wise for the last decade or so. But yeah, rest in peace. I mean, he gave us a lot of classic music, classic rock music to listen to.
That we listen to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got for news, unless you guys got something else that's doom scrolled.
Oh, man. Yeah.
No, call your representatives. The big bad bill hasn't gotten out of the Senate yet, so the Senate parliamentarian, which they're not bound by law to listen to, because with the way they're doing this bill is through a process called budget reconciliation, which is a process by which it just takes a simple majority to pass.
Yes.
And it is without the possibility to filibuster.
Yeah.
And filibuster is a fucking weird thing. Anyway, but that being said, it's a really bad bill. So, like, in it, we're to sell off public lands.
Yes.
Just to whoever wants to buy them, but that has nothing to do with budgeting. So the parliamentarian said, no, that doesn't apply here.
Yeah.
That has to be a separate bill. You can't have all this gobbledygook that has nothing to do with the budget.
Thank
in this.
God.
Yes, because that is fucking madness.
It's madness.
Yeah. And I think the total they could have possibly gotten was like $60 billion, like one. The amount of money is just dumb.
It's dropping the
just
bucket.
for something that can never be given back to the American people.
Right.
That once it's gone, it is gone.
Yeah.
Right? And that is our commonwealth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hands off.
Yeah.
For
Absolutely.
God, are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
And all these other things that aren't in budgetary, they're not in there for a budgetary reason, right? So that hopefully they don't break this rule, right? But we'll see. The Senate's just filled with snakes right now, right?
And Trump is like, you guys got to work overtime. You got to put in the day. You can't go on.
While he's out playing
He
golf.
wants this thing to
he's
pass
playing
right
golf.
before the 4th of July.
Yeah.
He what?
He wants it to pass right before the 4th of July so he can.
But I doubt it, because they still have to. The Senate has to send it back to the House, where they just decide how many more millions of people they can cut off. Of the cuts don't go far enough.
Yes,
they're psychos, dude. They're psychos. They're psychos. They refuse to believe that we can help each other.
Yeah,
that's the big hang-up. They don't think that we're meant to help each other. That I guess if charity wants to throw a penny here or there. Yep. Right? But if you're not born wealthy, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is madness.
Pull yourself up by the
It's just silly.
It's a big
silly.
club, man.
Yeah.
It's like George Carlin said, it's a big club, and we're not in it.
Oh, man. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Anyway, so that's that. So call your call your senators and tell them, and any of them. You can call any of them. You're still a United States citizen. They might not care as much.
Yeah.
Calling is the least we can do. And you can just call the switchboard, and they'll tell you.
Yeah, Charles, can you put a link in the description below or something like that?
Oh, for the congressional switchboard?
Yeah,
Or and postcards, which brings me to my next point, fellas, is I really want us to have some Our Town podcast renting postcards.
It's a great idea.
So,
what are you thinking?
I don't know. Sunday we're going to show up and do some extra work here.
Something like you've been doing.
Or would you rather have the greetings from Renton?
I think so. All of the above.
Okay.
We can pick, 3 or 5 photos we really like, and then get 1,000 of each of them.
At least 1,000.
They're not that
Send
expensive.
money.
No. I actually made some postcards for my game company, and it was pretty cheap. To do so.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fine idea.
Postcards are great.
We should take a photo at Uncle Mo's with the "Sorry We're Open."
Yeah, we will. I think we will.
Where are we going to place these postcards?
I don't, but I think they should be a giveaway like our pickle stickers.
Yes.
And anywhere else. I'll just start dropping them.
Just drop them off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And could we
postcards
put
are-
sharp edges on them so they can be shuriken?
Like throwing stars.
Does anybody do that anymore?
No. I remember Clymer and I were looking for Renton postcards in particular,
Yeah.
and they're just not anywhere.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah,
We're on it.
even at the historical museum, they're like, nah, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Like, I want that. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I've got a bag full of postcards from places I go. Like if I go to Redmond, I'll pick up a place, or if I go to
Yeah.
Edmonds or something like that, I'll pick up some postcards in a little
That's
shop.
nice. I've also got some of those little acrylic, clear plastic holders for postcards and stuff. Because when I take them, when I do a game commit, like I go to Oddmall or something, and I'm selling games, I got the little holder. So those are pretty cheap too.
Yeah.
So we could get those and just, hey, museum here.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, museum
Yep.
or like the shops in downtown.
shops down-
Yeah, I bet they would for sure.
At the fr-
RCT.
Yeah.
at the checkout,
Yep,
the restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
$50 a piece. Yeah. And I'd say that because a postcard can't be ignored by their secretaries or whatever.
Sure.
If a postcard comes to a congressional office, they got to do something with it.
Yeah.
Right?
I like
So
it.
if somebody has to physically do something with it, they don't like sealed envelopes because of the powder scares and shit, right? But postcards, you just say, please don't kill grandma.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever you want to write on there. Boop.
Right.
That's a good start.
Yeah, it's a
and
start. It's something.
Yeah.
We'll
It's
put a
something.
little
Yeah.
QR code on the back
Yeah.
so they can scan it and go to the show,
Yes.
to the show page, the
Yeah.
webpage.
Yeah, it's great.
How about a 50-50 chance? It's that or somebody doing a BA. 50-50.
A shot
Straight
of
to
my-
the show.
A picture of my feet. Just right there.
Wah, wah, wah.
Good luck.
Anyway, so that's the only other news I got.
All right.
That's pretty great.
Boys, we were going to have a guest tonight. He backed out. I'm not blaming him. It would have been nice to catch up with. He's a friend of the show. I'm not going to mention any names.
He's Papa Smurf.
Well, I wasn't going to mention any names, but he has been on a couple of our
sorry about
radio
that.
plays.
Yeah.
And big hit at gong shows.
Yes.
He's been a big
Yeah,
hit.
yeah.
We were going to have him come on and kind of discuss his job, which is a government agency. But he kind of talked to his boss, and the world we live in, he did not feel safe enough to come on and kind of chat, even in a roundabout way, what's happening
Oh, man.
with his agency
his
stuff.
agency,
So no
yeah.
blame to you.
No, not at all.
The person. We're going to see if we can do like a
I think,
2020
yeah. I think it's
screen thing with a
wonderful.
voice changer. I had that little
Make his voice sound like this.
I have that little Darth Vader voice changer that we used
so
for
good. Yeah.
the Star Wars special.
Don't kill grandma.
So instead of that, I went to a backup, one of my backups, which was talking about the decade that we sort of became adults in, I think was a good way to describe it. The 90s, right?
You're an adult.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm getting there, Jeff.
I'm working on it.
Started the
Myself.
yeah. I graduated high school '89. You were '88,
Yep.
86.
'86. So, I mean, we
I mean-
kind of came of age in our 20s, legal to drink, all that stuff in the '90s.
Boy, do I
Kim
have
and
some
Dad.
stories about
Yeah.
the 90s.
Or as the kids call the '90s, the late 1900s.
Oh, man.
Totally. That's awesome.
We're also the sort of the last generation, I think, to know what it was like not to have social media and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe the millennials, maybe the generation that followed behind us
For a
wasn't
few
big
years.
enough.
No, sure.
When did Facebook come out? Like 2004-ish? Five?
Sounds right.
I joined it like 2009.
Yeah.
And I think it was a few years
Few years
before that.
before
Maybe
that.
7. Maybe 2006 or 7.
So Jeff, what in a few short paragraphs, what was the 90s for you?
Oh, wow. The 90s were horror, right? Because I made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Huge number of mistakes. But joy as well. I met my wife at the Pioneer Square Saloon, Melinda, and that was an awesome experience.
And you were bartending quite a bit down there. Right?
Yeah, I was bartending at the Pioneer Square Saloon, kind of in that whole early 90s grunge scene.
Yes.
Had rock stars coming in and hanging out. Ben Shepherd from Soundgarden was a regular. The L7 was a regular
Nice.
group there, hanging out. It would be, man, there's so many stories about. I can't wait to get Johnny on here to talk about more of those experiences.
Yeah, and he's coming a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks. I'm really excited to talk to him. He's an author and radio personality. He has his own podcast. Playing wiffle ball with him out on the pier, the open pier where they have the music, that big pier.
Yeah.
And then Talaki Pocky, there was a parking lot where Talaki Pocky used to be on Western.
Okay.
And then at the Color Box, we used to play basketball, little Nerf hoop there. I used to dance on the bar, I don't know, 3 times a month or something like that. At the Pioneer Square Saloon, it was one of my gigs where I would air fiddle The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Nice.
Give a little.
Yeah, and the place would be packed, right? And I'm stepping over beers and doing the whole thing. And we had giant stacks of speakers on the bar, and it was louder than hell. Yeah, it was a coming of age, definitely a coming of age time for me. And then, my first kid was in 1999, Georgia.
Wow.
So there was a lot going on.
Big transition, right?
Huge transition, yeah.
Yeah.
One time there was at the saloon, there was a movie being made, Singles. I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Singles.
Yeah.
So those actors would come in from time to time, and Kiefer Sutherland,
Matt Dillon. Yeah.
Matt Dillon comes strolling up with his entourage of friends and that sort of thing, and I've got to ID him. About an hour and a half before that, I dropped acid and I think Molly at the same time, right? So I'm feeling really good, but nothing's making sense, right? So I'm tripping balls, and is this a family show? I can't remember. Not anymore. Anyway, so it was unfortunate, but Dylan was just kind of a dick to me. He goes, "Do you know who I am?" I go, "Yes, I do. I know exactly who you are, Mr. Dillon, but I still need to see your ID in case somebody's watching me or whatever."
Nice.
It didn't do me any good. He handed me the ID. I couldn't tell what was going on. It was just like a bunch of glue in my hands. And he went inside, had a few drinks, and left. But
That's awesome.
lots of cool
Yeah,
music.
one of my favorite scenes in Singles is when they're they're at the OK Hotel, and they're sitting down, and he's reading somebody's reading a review of their band, right?
It's Jeff Amet.
Yes, all the
Pearl
three
Jam.
of them. Yeah.
It's Jeff Amet and
Stone and Eddie are all sitting there with
Yeah.
him, and they're like, "Oh, we got the review in," or something like that, and he's like, "Wait, man, I don't want to hear anything negative about me." And they're like, "Okay," and they're like,
Nah.
Totally.
"Oh, here's ably supported by Jeff, Ed, and Stone."
Right. Right. Totally.
And he's like, "Forget that, man. We're big in Belgium."
That's exactly. You basically did verbatim.
Well,
basically.
okay. Yeah.
I went to school with a gal named Heather Hughes. I think she's passed away since, but I went and saw that movie. I knew a lot of people in that movie, just were extras.
Yeah.
Chad was this dude that was kind of a local celebrity. You always saw him around in shows and that sort of thing. He had a special hat that he wore, kind of a fedora, or not a fedora, but kind of a floppy hat. And then one of the scenes comes up, and it's the gal Heather Hughes, and she's in the shop, and he's only the next Martin Scorsese. It's where one of the characters was getting her
the dating profile
done. Yeah. So there's Heather, and she's the gal that I dissected a frog with in 7th grade or 8th grade, and it was a great coming of age movie.
It was a great
as
time
well.
capsule of Seattle.
Totally.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cameron Crowe.
I grew up. That's my neighborhood where the apartment
Capitol Hill.
complex is. The apartment, if you go up John, one more building. My best friend growing up, Alex, he and his mom lived in that apartment right next door to it. But every time I drove home to my parents' house, you'd come down Madison, jump on 19th, and they had the movie trucks out there, and they're doing the whole filming stuff and all that. Pretty cool to see. But it's like, what is all this? We didn't know at the time.
No. Well, I did, just because the rock stars were all coming in. Everybody was down there. They were all talking about it and that sort of thing. the cover for that movie or the CD, right, for singles, was shot in, what's the park just outside your business?
Washington.
Is that Washington Park there?
Up by Don Pay.
Don Pay, where I met you the first time in 91 or 92, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Ah, Don Pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
Washington Park was rough.
yes. So I don't know where I'm going. I was going to get some coffee at one of the coffee shops in that little that little shopping area right there, and there's a guy up on a box, like a soap box or whatever. He's got a camera set up to take a picture, and there's a park bench, and there's Kevin Bacon in the back, and there's Matt Dillon sitting on the bench, and there's Ford. What's her name?
Bacon's wife.
Well, yeah. Bacon.
Oh, Fonda.
Bridget
Fonda.
Yeah. Bridget Fonda. The whole crew.
I forgot about that.
The whole cast is right there, and there's the one gal's on the bicycle running across the back. The other guy's kind of doing that. And so I watched that photograph.
Oh, that's
being
cool as
shot.
fuck, man.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I just sat down on the curb with like 10.
Yeah, because the Phoenix was
other
there. Phoenix Underground, eventually, right across the street.
Yeah, we were on the opposite.
Yep.
We were on the opposite end.
Yep.
And the Phoenix was around the corner by the fire department.
Yeah.
Fire station or whatever. But it was like kind of a surreal thing. I didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, there's Kevin Bacon in the back, and hanging out in a trailer or whatever with his kid, chasing his kid around Washington Park. What's his wife's name?
Keira Knightley.
Sedgwick.
Keira Sedgwick, yeah. So that was kind of a neat little
Nice.
fun thing. And I lived in all kinds of parts of Capitol Hill, Lower Capitol Hill, Queen Anne, Pioneer Square. Had a great spot in Pioneer Square above the cigar shop across from Trattoria Michelli's.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Michelli's was at 4 a.m., kind of after hours place.
We would always go in there, and my ex-wife's buddy Hugh would always meet us down there. That was their spot, and he would jump on the piano there, and
that's great.
Just do a lot of like Billy Joel stuff.
Sure, and sit up at the counter.
Yeah,
Right. Oh, yeah.
Man, so working at the Pioneer Square Saloon, there was a lot of crazy shit that went on there. Lots of stories, but one of them was there'd be a line out the door, right, on a Friday or Saturday night, and we knew the bartenders over at Trattoria, so we'd call him up, and the guy's name was Jeff, and he would line us up tequila shots, and everybody that worked there would leave and go across the street for 10 minutes
get shots
and just get shots and bullshit for 10 minutes and then come back.
and they come back.
Yeah.
While
Because
people are waiting to get in.
While waiting to get in. And it's nuts to butts throughout the whole place. So lots of really
Yeah, because
fun
it was
experiences.
you could pay one cover for everybody or something, right?
For all the bars.
For all the bars or something. Because there were shows in 5, 6,
Yes.
7 different spots. J&M, Central.
Off-ramp or
okay. Yeah,
right
no, it's
before.
just nonstop.
Yeah, I think there was
Yeah.
7 clubs for
Something like
$10
that.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Larry's Green Front.
Oh, yeah.
That sort of thing. But yeah, I worked at the OK Hotel.
Yeah, OK was great.
The OK Hotel. I'm sorry, not the OK.
tiny.
I didn't work at the OK. I'm sorry. Scratch that. I worked at the Color Box.
Oh, yeah.
And which was on First,
Yeah.
and there was an old hotel up above, and that was unbelievable. You go up into that old hotel because in the Color Box you had the bar on the right side, and then the stage was the back, and
It was
then
just like a sound tunnel.
it was a sound tunnel. It was just a crazy thing. I was like a bouncer for Grunt Truck one time, where they had me up on stage, and I had earplugs in.
Oh, yeah, no.
And the guy that was the lead singer is like, "What are you doing? Take those earplugs out!" Like calling me out for like protecting my hearing. Right.
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh, good.
But you'd go up those stairs on the right, and you just get into the hotel. It was a completely abandoned hotel upstairs, and old clawfoot tubs. The top floor, I don't know, 4th floor, 3rd floor, had cedar-lined closets and hardware on the doors that were all immaculate, and it was pretty fantastic.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very, very cool.
Yeah.
Lots of great times down there.
Nice. Mike, what about you? What did the 90s bring about for you?
geez,
What would you define the 90s as?
Yeah, well, for me, it was a lot of music, right? Because I was working at the Budnick building. And then and then Jupiter by 90. 3, right? So
he was
born in
93.
94, but I mean,
Yeah.
there was a whole 9 months before.
I remember going.
Tell us about that.
I remember going to. It might have been the premiere night of The Crow, and you brought Jupe along.
You guys have known each other that long.
Oh yeah.
Oh, where did you guys meet?
Jupe's mom, Susie, was good friends, maybe still is, I don't know, with my ex-wife.
Oh,
yeah. So, of course, I met Susie through that. And I think the first time I met Mike, you were skateboarding up on Broadway.
Oh, man, yeah.
with the jacks.
Just orbiting.
Just orbiting around that crazy time.
Yeah. So I think that was the first time I met you.
Yeah, jeez.
And then, Jupe came along.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so there's my 90s. But I remember working a lot. You had 2 jobs at the Budnick building. So Don Pay and then M3 Design down below, which is like a metal worker.
Oh,
yeah.
What was the guy a guy that worked there?
Yeah, M3, Mark, right? Mark. But he was also friends with Andy Jack. And so they would send parts back and forth because he had like a Coke forge downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like underneath kindling, because that whole Budnick building was kindling. But anyway, so he had a forge downstairs and would do cool artwork, fabrication, and such.
Yeah.
But Andy Jack had like a roto hammer or whatever, one of the big. So when he really had to shape something, they would trade pieces back and forth and such. So that was neat.
Okay. Yeah, I had him make me a thing for my sister, one of those racks that you would put above your the island or whatever you'd hang pans on.
Oh, sure.
The bar.
Yep. No, that's
the handmade thing.
Yeah. No, he was good at it. And he had this shitty, I don't know if he was shitty, but he was mean to me, this African gray parrot who would just fucking, I'm trying to work. And he's living down, it's in underground Seattle, you know what I mean? They have the tiles above or whatever, but, I'm like working around hot metal and shit. He's like pecking me in the face.
Yeah. He taught me how to get 2 hours of free parking, and he had the machinery actually to do it. So he would take sleeves of pennies, what do you call those? Roll of pennies, and he would grind them down to the top of Lincoln's head. So they were flat and a kind of a moon shape, right? Or just flat. And then you go up to one of those old.
Oh, yeah.
You put it in the dime spot because it had to have the top done.
Yeah.
So when you put it in there, you just go boom, and it'll give you an hour 45, whatever.
Oh, man.
I can imagine them pulling that open.
Yeah.
Like, what are these pennies in here with that?
Still legal tender, bro.
Yeah. And it worked. Yeah. Defacing it, though. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
So working.
Working.
So the Don Pay was in the
Budnick building,
Was
right
this-
on the park. Right, its back door was right on the park, and then the other door was on Washington.
That's how I got into Don Pay.
Yep.
It was in the back.
Yeah.
And you walked up some stairs, I think.
No, it was all just right
Is
there.
this right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could go
but
downstairs
you went to the left.
there.
You went to the left when you went in the door, and the restaurant was kind of to the left. Right?
Yeah, the kitchen, and then there's just a few.
I just try to visualize that. Is that the Central Bakery building?
No, that's
too?
further
That's
down.
further down.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's been a while since I've been down there.
Yeah, they had the atrium and shit. That kind of matter. Yeah, but the Budnick building didn't have anything fancy like that.
No, it was just a bunch of.
Yeah, it was just old, and I mean, just waiting to burn.
But it had a basement with a bunch of businesses in
it. Right. So M3 was down there, and then one time. Because we used to, this was not legal then either, and it certainly isn't now, but when you have like frozen chicken, which we would have a lot of frozen chicken breasts, we would put them in the sink with water, right? And that's not how you're supposed to thaw it out, but that's how we're doing it. Anyway, but that also leaves a lot of grease going down the drain. So anyway, it's backing up, and there's a grease trap underneath. Right, because there wasn't a grease trap in the floor like they make you do now. Anyway, so I go down there. My boss is up at the top of the stairs smoking a cigarette. Watch me and my skate homie Brian Yoshikawa
cleaning the grease trap.
There, yeah, I'm getting ready to pull the cap off of the grease trap.
No,
so it comes down, hits the trap, and then goes down again. Goochoosh!
No
yes, of just rancid chicken fat. Oh man! And he immediately laughs, fucking cracks up. Yes.
It's the best.
Yes.
I mean, it's the worst for you.
Yeah, and we lived up on 412 Broadway at the time. So Broadway and Jefferson. So I had to go to hump all the way up.
Yeah, get cleaned up.
Get cleaned up, come back to work.
I would have taken the rest of the day off.
Yeah. I think I might have just went down and jumped into Elliott Bay because I used to jump down and I had, for some reason, I was wearing chains with padlocks that I didn't have keys for as my symbol at the time. And so I was jumping into Elliott Bay right down at the end of Washington, basically.
Yeah.
And it's nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst. There's like diesel and shit in there. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Fairy
so
juice.
hey, I was doing that a lot. But.
Oh, man. That's crazy. That's the worst story I've ever heard.
Adding insult to injury.
That's the 90s to me, guys.
Yeah. That's
chicken grease.
That's a coming of age story, right?
But we
there.
used to skate a lot, so that was fun. And Yoshikawa was really good, and Max Sosa just turned 50. Just a bunch of kids skateboarding, goofing on.
Cool. Is Max this guy that skated on top of the?
No, that's Tommy P.
Tommy.
Oh, yeah, I saw that guy just the other day. He's doing great.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Tommy P is probably 60 by now.
Okay.
Yeah.
He skated on the top.
He
of the
skated on the
Kingdom.
top of the Kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah, during
King
its
Tom. Yeah,
demolition.
go to YouTube
Really?
and watch the film King Tom.
King Tom.
Was this,
Right before they blow it up.
So he put on a.
Yeah.
He put on a like a
so
workers.
I mean, it was a sanctioned. Or
No,
he just,
not at all.
Yeah, I
He
was gonna
snuck
say.
in. Yeah, and the way they're filming it, it's great.
Nice.
It's the dudes from like Black Market Skates and a bunch of other heads.
yeah.
But anyway, so they're planning it out to some degree. But he just puts on a hard hat and a high vis, vest and has his
Right.
backpack like, his skateboard kind of
Sneaks
tucked
up
in.
there.
Yes,
So is he?
and made his way
I'll
all
watch
the way
the
to the roof.
video, but-
made his
he
way to
did.
the
Oh
roof.
yes.
I wouldn't know how to get up there.
No, and neither did he. He just
But
kind of
he's
figured
just
it
gonna make
out.
it
Yeah, he's
happen.
just a
Wow.
Yeah, it's Skyway for
I mean,
you.
is he?
That's Skyway for
Oh
you.
yeah,
Is he like on the very top?
yeah,
skating
in the
around?
scallop.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's super steep. It
It's
just
super
doesn't
steep.
seem as steep when you're on the ground
Yeah.
looking up 100 whatever feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
But-
it tapers-
Yeah,
it
and
tapers,
it's
right?
dusty as fuck.
Yeah.
Right? It's probably got 40 years worth of
Yeah.
atmospheric dust on there.
Dude, fucking
yeah.
bird shit.
Yeah, who knows, man? On concrete.
I gotta check that out.
Oh, yeah, it's cool, and it's a well done documentary. Anyway, yeah, he's a sweetheart.
King Tom.
King Tom.
Okay.
And it shows him doing his wall rides, and his wall rides are on point. He's a great 70s, 80s style skater. And the first that I know pro skater from Skyway that I'm aware of.
Cool.
Yeah. And remember the Pepsi ramp? You guys remember seeing that? That
Yep.
poly Pepsi ramp? That was at
The half
Dave's
pipe?
house for a long time, yeah. But then, Tommy was on that thing for a decade.
It's a nice thing to have in your yard.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Gravity Dave had it at his house for Mass.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, Tommy P. And then Jay Book, who got sponsored by Z. You remember Z Rollers? They were like trucks with bearinged rollers. So instead of scraping on coping like everybody loves to do, you just roll on the coping at like Mach 9. Oh, they were one of the deadliest thing ever invented.
How the heck did they do that?
I don't know, but they were a thing,
it on
Z
the
Rollers. Yeah, just on where
outside
like the
of the
truck is. Yeah, so
truck,
there's a
yeah.
rod,
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. But anyway, and so Jay Buck got sponsored by Z Rollers.
Wow.
And so he was the first like sponsored Skyway kid that was my age that I know of.
So
Yeah.
when you would go and you'd ride a rail, you
Yeah.
would normally just have the board scraping it?
You would, in this case, it's like a truck grind. Like
Yeah.
when you grind your trucks, you're not on the board.
Right.
You're on the truck.
But normally it would be the board.
Either you can do a board
But these
slide.
trucks had like a special,
To where they
ride on.
rolled. So instead of grinding on the truck.
Oh, there was a roll.
Yeah.
There was
Yes.
a roller that
Yeah.
wide on
Yeah.
So
it.
you're like on a conveyor belt. going
Yes.
across
Right.
the park bench or whatever.
Needless to
curb.
say, they didn't last.
Too many
Hope we
broken
got a
arms.
sponsorship.
Yeah.
Quick.
Oh, man. Jay Buck was cool, though.
How about you, Charles? What's your
Kind of the same.
Capitol Hill
same
fun?
stories. No, I got married twice and divorced twice in the 90s. So
Wow,
I'm
you're-
kind of defined by that.
Do you take Centrum?
I don't. I know. I feel like I should. So I met a chick. I'm 19 years old. Maybe I'm 18 or 19 years old. I meet this chick. She's 24.
Yeah, I like where this is going.
Oh,
And just
yeah.
like first real serious girlfriend material, right?
fireworks.
And of course, she's much older, so she's kind of got eyes set on marriage and picket fence and kids and all this. She's ready to settle down. I'm like, fuck, I'm 19. Getting regular,
I just got out of high school.
Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah.
I don't even have my
college.
I can't go into a bar legally. Although
Yeah.
I did. So I'll go get my license right before I turned 21. And I don't know if you remember back in the day, Washington State, you turn to the side a little bit. So when you went to the bar, they didn't have to look at the date so much as they could look at the picture.
Yeah.
And you were cock-and-eyed.
Jeez, I don't remember that.
You were minor, but if you had a front on.
Front shot. Still the same, I think.
I have no idea how I did it, but right before she took the picture, I turned like that. She takes the picture, and I'm a front-on picture. So
She doesn't retake it.
No. And I'm like, I think I was 19 when I got that. So I'm getting in all kinds of bars and shit, no problem. No issue.
And most people don't check the
They don't check. They don't bother trying to figure out the date. They're just looking at the picture.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah.
So no.
Or they're
problem.
on acid and they can't
Or they're on
read it.
and Molly.
it's melted.
That's what I hear.
It was a lot of fun. I think they
it's a
call
good
that
mix. I
axing.
hear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I met her. We got married, and then I was doing all these sort of more professional style jobs and trying to get to the point where we could consider putting a down payment on a house and stuff like that. And then I was like, man, I'm 21. I'm married. I don't know what the fuck. So I think we were together just over a couple years. So we get married in December.
Is this who knew Susie?
No.
Oh, this is the second one.
Yeah. And she's from the Bonnie Lake area, so
got a place
there's
out
a problem
there.
about
end
it.
up moving in with her mom to save money.
Don't you?
so-
Don't your parents have a place out in Bonnie Lake too?
they ended up buying out there because Dad's company was up on Broadway where the where the
QFC.
QFC is.
Yeah, on 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they ended up moving to Kent. So my parents are like, well, let's move out of Capitol Hill. Let's go a little farther south. They end up going to Bonnie Lake because I'm hanging with this chick. And they're like, hey, Bonnie Lake's cool. And they find a house right on the lake
nice.
that they can afford.
Yeah.
So sell Capitol Hill. Dumbest maneuver. And bought this house in Bonnie Lake. And that was their kind of retirement dream, which is a little early. But yeah, so I was like, I need to go back to school. I need to figure out what I want to do. I got to figure out, I don't even know what I want to do with my life. So went back to college. That wasn't quite because all of her friends were getting married and having kids and stuff. She's like, I want to jump on that bandwagon. I'm like, yeah, I got a little ways to go, honey.
Yeah.
So the marriage, we should have got it annulled. The time we were separated.
How old were
lasted
you when you got
more.
married? 21?
20 when I got married.
20 you got married.
Yeah. So we broke up like weeks after we went through with the ceremony thing.
Wow.
And then finally divorced like 4 months later.
Okay.
And then happened to meet the
Person.
second ex-wife. My sister.
Did you say that when you saw her? Like, here's my
you're gonna
future
be my-
ex-wife.
Well, it was weird because do I want to get married again? Well, I can always just get divorced again.
Right.
Right?
Because you didn't have anything to lose.
At that point,
Yeah, exactly.
Second time around, I had tons to lose.
You live.
Yeah. And then, of course, my son was born in 97. So, I mean, that was kind of my 90s, was working and getting married and marital strife and all kinds of
Where'd
stuff.
you work when you, what was your main, was it the IT world?
I spent 6 years working for Pony Express, which was a courier company.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 or 4 years driving because I was going to school at the same time. So it was kind of my day job, and then I would go to school at night. Spent 6 years doing that until my son came along, and then it was like I got to figure out a better, more higher paying job. So I went into a management role quit school, went into a management role
With them.
Pony,
Yeah.
Until that became untenable. The company was just shit.
They went out of business, didn't they?
They went out of business fast. Yeah, I don't know what the deal was, but I
Well,
got out.
UPS.
Right time. Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they would have been a great fit for Amazon, but they just, I don't know what it was. And then that's when I got into the IT stuff,
Got it.
98.
Did you applied at Amazon?
I did not know.
Oh, you never did?
No.
I was told like 95 is when we started at the Whistle Stop, March 13th. And shortly after that, I can't remember when it was, but I think it was within a year probably. One of the people that had a wife that started with Amazon, just go work for Amazon. Just get in.
Yeah.
Just get in on the ground floor with
Yeah,
those guys.
whatever you do.
And I was running something called the Whistle Stop, so
Yeah.
I didn't do that. But if you would have gotten in early, like 95,
Yeah.
that time, it was a really
Would've
good
been
time
great.
to get. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, geez, I remember 98, I got into the industry doing, telephone stuff, cabling, all that stuff. And that was the .com boom, right?
yeah.
So we're down. You guys are talking Pioneer Square. We're down because all of those friggin' startups wanted to
Yes.
be downtown Seattle.
Right.
So we're crawling around the
F5.
basements of those buildings.
Yeah,
trying to
giant
get
wharf rats up in that
T1,
shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
up
yeah.
the thing. All the startups, man, they all out of business.
Concur.
They spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on cabling and
Infrastructure, yeah.
infrastructure, the whole thing, because they had money. People were like, "Oh,
Just
what's that?"
throwing money.
And I remember one of them was tellthemnow.com. And if it's available, grab it. What their plan was to go out and get the email addresses of famous people. Like if you wanted the Queen of England or you wanted the
Nicolas
Pope
Cage.
or Nicolas Cage, all right there on that same tier. They would figure it out, and you would go to their website and you'd say, I want to send a message to Nicolas Cage. And you would click whatever, and then you could write your message. You're the best ever actor, and I want to have your love child, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then they would get it. They would say that they would get it to him,
Yeah.
right? But it felt like the map of the stars, right?
Yeah,
where you go down to
yeah.
L.A. I'm going to sell you this map
Yeah.
of the stars. It's like some
That's where
fucking
Benny Goodman lives.
But that's what was happening at that time. People,
Yes,
people
yeah.
were throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah.
money,
And,
money, money.
and the internet was so new
Yeah.
that it was like, what are you going to do on
Yeah.
the internet?
Yeah.
Right? I guess AI.
right?
Yeah.
Terminator shit.
We were doing a ton of work at Real Networks.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
remember Real Networks down there?
It's still there. I think.
No, well,
In the King
they-
5 building? Oh,
this was when they were right next to the old spaghetti factory up on,
Yeah.
not
yeah.
Western, but
Stewart? No.
yeah, down by the sculpture park.
Yeah.
Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was crazy. It was a crazy time. And then I remember at lunchtime, everybody, all the trades that were there, the drywallers, the painters, the ceiling guys, and everybody was talking about their fucking stocks, right? Oh, did you get in on such and such? Did you get in on?
Oh,
and
man.
I'm like, am I like falling behind?
Yeah.
All those guys probably lost their asses
Oh, man.
because
Yeah, I
all those
suppose so,
things
yeah.
went.
I remember getting really excited about all those stocks because I worked while I started the Whistle Stop. I also needed health insurance, so I got a job in the eye care business, working for Lens Crafters in Redmond.
Okay.
With a friend's friend who was an optometrist, and she hired me, and I would have one because it was Redmond. I had one-on-one contact with vice presidents, and so I
yeah.
was with them for an hour,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I spent more time almost than the doctor did
Yeah.
with them. And I remember getting so excited about Concur, which is, I think, a back-end accounting software for businesses like, taking care of expense whatever accounting. I think that's what they did.
Expense reports,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
But they were still a startup, and they were going public. And so I started to do the math, and if I bought like $1,000, I'd be a billionaire or something like that. I wasn't doing the math right, probably,
right.
but the speculation was it was going to go up, and it did. I don't think it went up as much as you did, but if you got into the ground floor,
Yeah.
and you had an in,
You show up at the garage and
Yeah.
you're knocking on the door. I got $1,000, bro.
I didn't have a penny.
I know that was
that's
my
the-
problem.
Right.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was working 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Everything went
You know
to
what I mean?
housing
Oh,
and
yeah.
What? You
gas
want me to
and
buy some stock?
childcare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Jesus.
money. Yeah, that was
Money.
a big time for trying to.
I remember our parents had because they sold the Capitol Hill house for probably 2.5 times what they bought their Bonnie Lake house for. Which was, I mean, now back then it was like, wow, you got how
You
much
got
money?
300,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
now it's worth like $2 million or some crazy number. But they took the money, the money they made, the profit they got off the house, and they put it into some stocks. I don't think it was mutual funds, but I remember them getting sort of somewhere in the 90s, like 2 for 1. So if you have 2 Microsoft stocks, you're going to get a third one. If you have 2 Amazon stocks, you're going to get an extra one. So it was like a 1.5 deal for every 2. Yeah, because the stock split.
Oh,
Because they were doing so well.
Yeah.
So
I don't get that because they
I
weren't
don't really either.
Amazon wasn't doing very good. They were
losing money.
Yeah.
No, yeah. They
were
lost money.
subsidized.
Yeah, for a long, long time.
Because they knew,
yeah.
or somebody that was supporting.
Well, until they did, and still, even since they control their logistics and such, if it weren't for their cloud computing business, they'd still be losing money.
Yeah.
Right? That's where the majority of their profit ends up being, right?
Kind of like Costco makes most of their big money on the subscriptions or the membership.
Yeah.
Because they have 200 million, 18 million people that are spending $100.
And that's just profit, right? Yeah, because then anything they have to, try to squeeze out of food items.
That's how they keep everything
that
out
makes
of
sense.
those bare
the margins or whatever,
bare minimum margins.
And the Burt's Bees chapstick. It's like $7.
Yeah, they fucking cheated that guy hardcore.
Who, Bird?
Yeah.
Bird got dogged.
He
Yeah.
got dogged hard.
Is he, or is that now owned by like BlackRock or something like that? Or?
Some lady came in and bought it off him, and then she sold it for millions or something. So he started the kind of like a little,
Poor
some guy with
Bert.
with his
his bees.
with his bees, right? Making this awesome lunch. She's like,
Great
this
name.
is great. Can I buy the? And then she turns around and sells it for 10, 20, I don't know what. It's crazy.
So that's no longer a private company. It's been sold
Yeah,
to
it's,
a big
it's
company.
part of.
I heard
Procter
Susie
Gamble.
Chapstick bought it. That's what I heard.
Yeah, probably.
And the Mr. Microphone guy.
We'll be back to pick you up later.
Yeah, in an hour.
Nice. Boys, do you remember some of these quotes from the 90s? One of my favorites, read my lips, no new taxes.
Yeah.
Was that
The senior.
John Boy? John Boy said that?
H.W. Bush.
Yeah, HW, yeah.
Yeah, geez. And he got elected 88 to 92, right?
Yeah, did he beat
that Ross Perot?
He beat Dukakis.
Dukakis, yeah.
But Dukakis and Ross Perot ran for that one.
No, Ross was
Later?
92.
Yeah, with Clinton.
Clinton and H.W.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also
might-
again
yeah.
with Clinton and Dole in 96.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dole and Admiral Schmiplap or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Oh, man. Really? These are the people that are running for the highest in the land?
Well, let's do this one. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah.
I did not. The thumbs.
not.
The thumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill.
That
not.
point.
You just lied to us in the face, and I know it happens, and I know we've discussed this a million fucking times.
Yeah.
Let's
But
do
it
it
doesn't
again.
make it okay.
No,
It doesn't
it's
make
happening
it okay.
right now.
I know.
He's probably
I
talking
know.
right now.
Yeah,
I know.
The Cheeto guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shit move. It is.
It really is.
You know what I mean? And there's been times, where I get it. Bad shit has to happen, right? Because this is Earth, and the United States does have people actively working against the United States.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
I get that.
sure.
But you don't have to lie to us about it.
Yeah.
You don't.
Absolutely.
So, and that wasn't an emergency. You know what I mean? That was like, do we need to drop a bomb? That was like,
I thought
Yeah,
you
he
were talking
just-
about Lewinsky.
he
and-
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something dumb that he could have just come out and said,
Yeah, I blamed
you
her.
know what I mean? I
have
feel
urges.
like you're my family, and I feel like I lied to my family.
Yes.
He could have spun, and he
That
was
was,
smooth. He could have totally spun that and made us love him even more.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I failed you.
Yeah.
It won't happen again.
Yes.
I'm making
Yeah.
amends with my God and my family
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Could have spun that and actually been good. You know what I mean? But
And dudes would be like, yeah.
yeah, bro. I got you.
I'd have just grabbed her by the pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't define getting head.
Yeah.
Sexual.
I know, just
dumb.
slimy shit for no good reason.
Right.
For no good
depends
reason.
on what the meaning
Yeah.
of the
Of
is,
is.
or is. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just slimy dog shit.
That's
It's
that's
unnecessary
lawyer shit.
and
And that
unnecessary.
all came out of multi-million-dollar investigation by Newt Gingrich and Kenneth Starr.
just to throw
they
poop
got
at him nonstop.
was that.
Nothing?
Yeah.
Nothing else.
They got nothing.
What was their? That was their housing
That
deal.
was Whitewater.
The original was the
yeah.
Whitewater
Yes.
land development.
Land development.
thing.
Yeah. Man, and compared to today, I wish
Yes.
that we had such troubles. It's
Then
like
it went
he's
to
doing
like
a crypto thing.
Yes.
Every
my
single
God.
pump and dump
Here's
you can imagine for private money.
My phone, my crypto,
my God.
Bible, my...
Isn't his son doing something with
I
the
don't
phone?
know. They all
All
need
the
to just
time.
be forgotten.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Is that what it
New
was?
Trump phone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
and the
so
Trump phone
weird.
service.
So weird. But still, you don't have to lie to us.
No.
We're adults.
It helps if you don't lie.
It
really
does. It just makes
really
it
does.
worse.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, more
I love the
respect
truth.
if you just
No,
come
that
out and
really
tell the
is
truth.
9 inches.
Boys, we talked a lot about these news stories when we did the Gen X history, where we talked about the stuff that happened in our Gen X lifetime.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, but do you guys remember where you were, like when the Persian Gulf War started?
Yeah, I think I was downtown. Yeah, I was pissed
Working
about
at
it.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was working at Shuck's Auto Supply, and I remember we had the big display. I think it was Greco car stereos and stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We would have those on. And we turned them all up to listen to the news of the bombings and stuff.
Yeah. Because that was a lie too, remember?
That was
It's like-
Kuwait,
Yeah,
right? That was
yeah.
we went
in
into
defense
Kuwait.
of Kuwait, yeah.
Or defense of Kuwait.
Yeah, because we wanted to go after we wanted the Persians back then too. We wanted to control that whole Gulf. I
Yeah.
think we just got lied into thinking it was going to be a nice, smooth, easy
Just gonna get
operation.
in.
How many
You
years
know.
were we over there?
Yeah.
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 Because that's when it started, right?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
what
and
was
then
that, 90,
9/11. Yeah.
What year was it?
Yeah.
90. I don't know.
1990.
90. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
August 2nd,
Yeah.
1990.
Jesus.
Man. Yeah, that was Storm and Norman.
Yeah.
And just overwhelming numbers,
And
right?
Powell.
Shock and I and Powell. Yeah.
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 Yeah. What was Norman's name? Norman
Schwarzkopf.
Schwarzkopf.
Yeah.
And then what was the guy? Was it the Iran Contra thing too that was going on about
Ollie
that time?
North.
Ollie
That was
North.
a bit before.
Yeah,
Was
a
that
little bit
before?
that, yeah. Because that happened 79 to 80. So that was all cleared up by 85, 86.
Yeah.
When was
Cleared up
the
never.
When was the Exxon Valdez?
86, maybe?
Yeah, something.
86,
Something like that.
87? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting that mixed up with because I think when you asked that question, I'm like I was at Alki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
The LA riots back in 92. April
Rodney
29th.
King.
The acquittal.
Yeah.
of the officers that beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Man, I remember
that was
that's when I moved.
insane.
I got divorced and I moved in with the parents. in
With
Bonney
Rodney
Lake.
King.
With Rodney King. Buddies, yeah. And Denny,
Oh, yeah. Reginald Denny.
Reginald Denny that got his
Yeah.
ass.
Oh,
Because he was
Reginald
driving
Denny
a
was
truck.
that truck,
through the
Wrong place
neighborhood.
at the wrong
and someone hit him
yeah.
with a brick, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
they
he survived barely.
kicked
Yeah, that
his
was
ass.
awful. Yeah,
Oh, they
that's just
pulled him out of
mobs
that
are bad,
truck.
man.
Yeah.
Mobs are bad.
Yeah.
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 But I'm moving in with them, and I took the downstairs basement because I think they were doing the big remodel at that time. So I was in this downstairs, had this little tiny TV set, and I'm just glued to it. I'm watching CNN or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just
Insane.
watching this stuff. Just like,
Oh,
holy
shit's on
crap.
fire. The
Yeah.
whole city's on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. People were mad.
People were
Rightfully
mad.
so.
Yeah, and the 90s were particularly a violent decade for the United States.
Yeah.
It really was. There was a lot of gun violence. Murder rates really spiked.
Yes.
What was that from?
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
a really
it's
good
coming
question.
out of the whole crack epidemic, too.
That and the influx of guns, because we're cracking guns, handguns,
Right.
both got introduced simultaneously.
Yeah. Yeah, go figure.
But also, because after that, we took lead out of gasoline,
Thank God.
which really helped.
Yeah.
So,
My mental health improved.
yeah, and violence dropped.
Right.
It's not a
Oh,
coincidence.
that's right. There was a connection
oh,
to
yeah,
that,
by a
right.
lot.
The lead poisoning
Yeah.
and
Yes.
neurological challenges that people had for sure.
Yeah. Now we just got the PFAFs. PFAFs.
Jeez, you guys remember the death of Princess Di?
Yeah. that
I
was a
do.
huge deal, yeah.
I
That was
do.
August 31st,
Wow.
1997.
I was listening to a lot of Coast to Coast then.
Oh.
So, yeah, David Icke and a bunch of people had a bunch of far out shit going on with that.
I was at home, and Melinda was working at a place in Spokane called Milford's, and this was '97, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember it came on. It was just shocking. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
And I called her at work and to tell her about Princess Di.
Somebody that's got that much international attention.
Yeah. And it turns out she was killed. Yeah. It's true. She was killed by the family
member
or whatever.
Or something? Jeez.
Yeah. Because of her getting hooked up with the Al-Fayed.
Oh, that's right.
Dodi Al-Fayed.
Yeah.
Which his dad, I think, was a garbage man. He basically ran all the garbage out of
but ultra wealthy. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big yachts, big money.
Yeah, so they just didn't like her associating with...
Yeah, it was embarrassing to the crown, is from what I understand.
Wow.
Now, don't quote me on that internet.
Allegedly.
But and it was a single car accident, right? It's like, yeah.
Supposedly she was getting chased by a bunch of
paparazzis
on a motorbike.
And then got ran off the road in the tunnel and hit an abutment just head on. And the guy that was driving lived, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The chauffeur.
I'm going to have to watch a documentary on that.
Oh, man, that's right.
She was a beautiful lady and
and advocated to remove landmines. You know what I mean? That's an honorable thing to put your voice to. Nobody's mad about that.
To take her celebrity and do that all over the world.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, I mean, in that she learned it from Melania Trump.
Are you joking?
Yeah, because Melania Trump ain't done dick.
Oh, right.
Was she anti-bullying? Yeah. Like as a comic relief?
Be best.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and what was the jacket she wore? Nobody cares or something.
Nobody cares. Neither do I.
Yeah. So dumb.
There goes the Rose Garden, too. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. Just paved it over. Oh, I mean, if they're not demons in disguise, then demons don't exist.
Yeah.
Right? They're
the lizard people.
If that's not what that is, then it's just human evil.
They're drinking
and that's kind of disappointing.
The blood of babies.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, gotta be.
Oh, yeah.
The song from Depeche Mode, Princess Di is Wearing a New Dress, is a song that I when I went to college in Seattle Central Community College. I took a video program there.
Oh, did you do that? I know people that did that.
Yeah, the integrated, what do they call that? Yeah. You take multiple classes for one specific right? History and all that.
Mickey, my hairdresser, female Mickey. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. Yeah. She was in that program. I don't know.
Yeah. So I I had access to my dad's video editing suite out at Alaska Airlines. And so I would go out there and I would edit friends that I made in this class. I would edit their stuff for them, so I get credit for the editing process.
Nice.
And one of those was Princess Di is Wearing a New Dress, and it was kind of like one of those eye openers. I didn't really, you just sing songs sometimes and you don't really know what that means. Yeah. But because I listened to that song so many times over and over again and watched the video and that sort of thing, I got a really good idea of the absurdity that the media puts upon bullshit, right? She's wearing a new dress. Who gives a fuck? Who cares, right? What about landmines? That sort of thing, right?
Right.
We're so disconnected because we put icons up on some stage.
And just fed the drivel of it, right? And that's like she's being chased by paparazzi, and they're not there to ask her, anything important. It's just,
and then we argue within that sphere of absurdity.
It is, and that seems like a control mechanism to me.
Oh,
right?
totally.
I know that if it bleeds, it leads, or whatever, and
that's
these kind of titillating things. That's what we're told.
That's what we're told,
right?
And
but
so
they sell plenty of textbooks. I buy a lot of news magazines, way more than I really should. I got a pile if anybody wants them.
Backlog.
And there's no titillating stuff in those. They're boring as fuck, but they're still being bought.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, but how many people are buying those compared to...
I don't know. Well, Harper's been around for 200-some years. I read Harper's, right?
Yeah, but you're one of 7.
No, those poor guys.
No,
they advertised for the jitterbug in there.
One died. He's 103.
Yeah. He was on the Waltons, I think.
Yeah. It's all like the ads in there because they still have news, magazine ads. It's like the fall alerts. And the jitterbug cell phone. So it's like just for people even older than myself.
And Centrum.
with giant buttons.
Centrum Silver.
Yeah. Beep, boop, boop.
Yeah.
I love magazines. Not enough that I'm going to go buy any right now.
No, I
but
love
I used to
magazines.
love to read the glossy, the
tactile.
feel, the tactile of it.
And even worse is like trade magazines, like woodworking magazines.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like I love them. I
Really?
don't even do woodworking, but then you get to see the ads, and it used to be that they had a little card in there. If you circled stuff, you could send it off to those advertisers, and they'd send you shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which sometimes they still do.
Yeah.
But now everybody has websites instead. You know, but
Right.
I love it.
But that tactile thing is an important part of it's being stripped from us. It's not being stripped from us. We have choice still.
Yeah.
And we can,
But we are being sold out, and we've been being sold out even before the internet, when the conglomeration was allowed from media companies.
yeah,
That's what started all of that. Newspapers were in danger then,
Yep.
but now they're really in danger.
You mean the
right?
consolidation of the many into one
Correct.
or six?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Because it used to be against the law, right? You couldn't own.
You mean the monopoly? Oh, yeah. You
yeah,
couldn't
that type of
own
monopoly.
certain
yes,
amount
yep.
of
in media in particular,
in a district.
Yes, yeah,
in
but
an
also,
area.
but monopolies in general, right? Were once illegal.
Yeah.
But yes,
That seems like the norm.
yeah.
Yeah.
You'd hope. But
Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah, geez. I bought a bunch of stuff from Uline. Do you guys know Uline?
Yeah,
Sure.
they'll
It's a
send
great-
you-
Oh my God!
I
I
sit
get
on the
that
toilet
giant, like
and read that.
4 times a year. I get that fucking catalog.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta call and tell them, look, don't send.
You don't
me
have to
that.
send this
It's
to me anymore,
Like
dude.
I'm just recycling, but I actually do flip through it.
Oh,
yeah.
they
See if
got
there's anything-
everything, bro.
Yes.
Yes. It's insane.
Got to give me one of
pricey,
them,
but-
one of them mop buckets.
yeah.
That's what I open up to for some reason. It comes to a mop bucket.
Yeah.
There's like 30
Oh, well,
different brands.
Yeah, no, but I do. I know I have, because I've been a janitor, for
Yeah.
a large portion of my life. So the mop heads matter.
Yeah, that's-
depending on what
yeah,
surface you're mopping. So Uline does have a large selection of mop heads.
And King Tom probably got his worker's
His high
jacket,
vis jacket,
high-vis jacket from you.
Hard hat, the whole
Yeah.
the whole shebang. Nice.
I didn't know they had that shit.
Yeah.
I can just order that right now.
Oh,
This is
good.
insane.
Boys, I'm going to run down the top 15 songs of the 90s. This is according to Forbes magazine. Talking about magazines.
Bam, bam. No, it's 80s.
That's 80s. Number 15, Say My Name, Destiny's Child, came in 1999.
Say my name.
Say my name. And that was Beyonce before Beyonce, right?
Oh, is she in Destiny's Child?
Yeah. Her.
Jeez.
I never listened to those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of out of my range, too. Number 14, Semi-Charmed Kind of Life
Semi-Charmed
by
Kinda
Third Eye Blind. And I got to admit, that's 97. That's kind of one of my guilty pleasures. Yeah. Yeah.
To take me to the
My favorite line
Semi-Charmed
is, you were never second best. Those little red panties passed the test.
Oh,
Nice.
Great
I never
line.
that passed right over me.
Yeah. Go
jeez.
listen to it now.
Yeah.
Number 13, California Love by Tupac. I'm
yeah.
kind of surprised that was his biggest hit, according to Forbes. That was 95.
That's a great song.
It's a great
That's big.
song,
Oh,
but there's a few others that I would have picked before.
Yeah, but
just
it's a
personally.
more poppy.
Yeah.
It's more streamliner in the
Yeah. And for Mike, the Fugees, Lauren Hill.
Oh, yeah, God bless him.
Killing Me Softly, 96.
Yeah.
That
But that's
was a
Fugees or
great
that's
song.
solo Lauren?
That's
Fugees.
Fugees.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
the Fugees?
What was their huge album? They were huge. Yeah, I think it was the Fugees. Oh yeah, her and
Was it Andre?
no,
that
that's
wasn't them. That's
yeah. No,
Outkast.
come on, I can see him in my mind, man. Wyclef
Yes,
Jean.
Wyclef Jean.
Yeah, who's the other guy?
Yeah, I can't think.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
How do you spell Fugees?
Fugees.
That's the one.
Yeah, they're cool.
Killing Me Softly?
Yeah. And that was a sample from
Roberta yeah.
Flack.
Oh yeah. Who just passed, right?
I think so.
I think so.
Don't play too long.
Yeah. Here comes the lawsuit.
YouTube will just say nope.
But anyway, yeah,
Protecting-
big deal. That was a really big
It was
record.
a huge album.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was 96.
And just like its own genre, kind of.
I think so.
Lauren Hill
Because
was
it
in
wasn't hip hop. It was
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of stuff put together. It was really neat.
yeah.
The Score, No Woman. Okay.
How about this one? 98. Hit me, baby, one more
Oh,
time.
jeez.
Who sang that?
That's Britney.
Britney goes back to the 90s.
Yeah, 98 on that
Oh,
one.
man.
Yeah. I think that was her first big hit.
I feel like it was.
Yeah, something
and
like
she was 20 then?
God, if.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, Brittany.
She comes at number 11. Number 10, Lauryn Hill again. Doo-Wop That Thing, which I'm not familiar with this song. This is 98.
All right.
So a couple
But that's
years
solo
after.
Lauryn?
Solo. She did the Life and Times. No, it was the
Miseducation.
Miseducation
Yeah,
of
it's
Lauryn
an incredible
Hill.
record.
Yeah. And she didn't do much after that. She
No,
hasn't
I
been
think she
around.
had a family. She
Nice.
she had other stuff going
Kind
on.
of living her
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Nice. And this one, everywhere. I don't know anybody, maybe except Mike, that didn't have this album. Ironic by Alanis Morissette.
No,
The
that's
Jagged
huge.
Little
Yeah,
Pill.
yeah, that's
A
huge.
huge album.
I just
95.
recently got the live version from a few years ago, and she was like doing a live thing. Brought me to tears.
Oh, shucks.
I mean,
Yeah.
really did. It was just
Talented
amazing.
lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly she got hosed by the guy from
Yeah, that guy.
Full House.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I don't think anyone's admitted it except for maybe him, right?
Yeah, I don't know. yeah. What's he like? No, I would never. I don't know. Was she underage or something? I don't know the story.
I don't know the story.
I don't
No,
know.
I
She
think he
broke his
just was
heart.
younger.
Just jaded or
He
something.
was,
yeah.
she was
Yeah.
younger, and he
Yeah,
was much
heartbreaker.
older.
David,
Yeah.
fucking.
She's
Uncle,
talented though, man. She's
Uncle
super
Joey from
Yeah, Joe.
with the puppets
Yeah.
and shit.
Oh, innocent
all
Women
Joe.
have
Joe.
weird
That guy?
tasted man. I'm living proof.
I know. Jeez. Number 8, thought this might be a little higher, but number 8, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana,
That's a-
91.
Yeah, and I sold like 20 million
Yeah.
copies.
Huge record. Huge record.
Yeah.
And started a movement too. Waterfalls by TLC, 95.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great
Don't
song.
go chasing waterfalls.
Oh, yeah.
And then this was a huge hit, and I'm glad it was Santana, Smooth, featuring Rob Thomas. That was that Latin-inspired, so let's forget about it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was huge.
Yeah. That was 99. So
Dun, dun,
right
dun.
at the end
yeah.
of the decade.
Oh, yeah, no, that's very. Yeah, no, that's good stuff.
Yeah. Also in the late 90s, Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, which was
that's
sort of that poppy,
Oh, yeah, no,
fake
it's huge, dude.
alternative.
Yeah, from God, what were the movies?
with the
Yes.
the angel.
Yes.
Yeah, with Nick Cage. Nick Cage's the angel,
Yes.
and he sees
Yeah.
Meg Ryan, and he
Yes.
falls in love as an angel.
That's
Yeah.
what,
So he gives up
Yeah.
his wings
Yes.
and falls to earth and
Yeah.
tries to.
And
And then he
listens
gets
to
hit
the
by a
Goo Goo
fucking
Dolls.
car.
Yeah, well, that'll do it.
Sorry to spoil the ending there.
it's been a couple decades. though.
Yeah.
Is that the same one that was from the German?
Yes.
The redo of
Wim Wender.
Wim
Wenders.
Wender.
Yes.
Wim Wender.
Yeah. Yeah. And another guilty pleasure. I really appreciate this early stuff, but Don't Speak by No Doubt.
Oh.
The Gwen Stefani.
How'd that go?
Don't speak. Don't.
Oh yeah. Keep going. You got it. Don't do too much though.
yeah.
That's good.
The YouTube algorithm's like, oh.
Yeah, that was a huge album for her.
yeah.
Got to start. They kind of had that ska punk early 90s thing going on. So
Yeah.
Yeah, she's still around, right?
oh yeah, she's still doing
Gwen
stuff.
Stefani?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess she was on The Voice or
That's
American.
right. I get her and,
She-
jeez. I can,
Yeah, she married. I didn't think she married the
country
the
guy.
country guy
Oh, yeah.
on that show. Yeah,
Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton.
Yes.
Good one. Yeah.
Yeah. This one by another guilty pleasure, Vogue.
Oh, Madonna, nice.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the whole
Yeah.
the Vogue stuff. 1990 on that one. So
Crazy.
that was right at the beginning of the decade, but I can still see the black and white.
Oh, yeah.
video with
Come on, Vogue.
Rita
Oh,
Hayward
man.
gave good
Yeah.
face.
Gave good
wait,
face.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a lyric you wrote?
Yes.
I went to
Yes, you can.
her opening concert, like a Virgin tour,
Oh.
back in whatever 80 something,
Early
whatever.
80s, yeah.
early 80s, and then I just went to the most recent one.
Oh, did you?
This last year with my daughter Virginia.
Nice.
And what a production!
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty big production when she first started. Lots of dancing and that sort of thing. But boy, this was half the floor of the Coliseum, and it was all a stage. It was a huge stage production stuff going on all the time.
Dancers, lights.
Costume changes,
Wow.
everything.
Yeah.
And it kind of changed Virginia's life, she said. She was,
Wow.
because she's a performer
Yeah.
stage
And
actress.
just that scale and professionalism and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'd look over at her every once in a while, and she'd just have this, oh shit, like what the hell's going on? You know, because she'd never seen anything of
Well
that
worth
big.
the cost of admission.
Well, I don't remember. A couple $100, I
No,
think.
but well worth the cost of admission.
Oh, double.
Yeah.
You could have paid
Nice.
double,
Yeah.
and it would have been well worth it. It was no performers go to that extent like she did.
Yeah, I wonder if it's I don't know, because she's got a lot of clones like the Lady Gagas and the
Yeah. Maybe Gaga does big productions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Right. But she has like
But
30
Gaga-
people in her cast or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
And
people.
she's
to
not a
bring around the
dancer. I think
country.
Madonna was a dancer also.
Oh, to start
I think
with.
Gaga is kind of a super talent, but she's a piano player.
Yeah.
More than a dancer per se.
Oh,
Yeah.
big time talent. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does Madonna write her own material?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I don't care. It's kind of like Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
It's
did-
all part of the package.
Yeah. Did he have some, extra affairs with his kids or whatever, or did dirty things with a fork or whatever?
To
I don't
his
give a
dog.
shit. I really don't care. I mean,
Yeah.
if they find that out, great. He's dead now. You're not going to get anything out of him. But I love his music.
Yeah.
I love the music. I think you have to be able to separate those two. Those two are important.
I mean, that's a fair
separations.
question.
For me,
separate
anyway.
the art from the artist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Separate it.
The one thing I don't like doing is the money. He finds out I don't want to give him any money if he's
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like Mel Gibson's never getting a dime from me.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, or Roman Polanski. I still want to fight both those guys for charity.
same time.
I would.
Yeah.
I don't care.
What's
It's
the deal
for
with
charity?
What's the deal with not Roman Polanski, but
Gibson. He's
Gibson?
Well, he's no. He's a Jew hater for one.
Oh,
and he pulled a
okay.
gun on his wife and shit. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Okay.
yeah.
I try to stay so far removed from that.
But no, he's a Jew hater.
Okay.
Boys, can you guess what the #1 song according to Forbes magazine of the 90s?
I'm a Jew hater. I'm a Jew.
No,
Is
that
that-
came in at number 11.
Yeah. Didn't quite make
That's Mel Gibson's
debut
lullaby.
album.
You got this song was everywhere
Was it from a grunge?
from a movie
Oh,
soundtrack. It was a cover of another artist who actually wrote it.
Okay.
jeez, I don't know.
Kevin Costner.
Waterworld?
Oh no, it's and I,
Whitney Houston. Always love you.
Yeah. What's the Dolly Parton song, right?
Yeah,
I think
she
we were
wrote it.
talking about Parton on the
Yeah.
show a few months ago, and that
Yeah.
came up, and
I think I read somewhere where
Costner.
she donated all the money. Dolly did all the money she made off the royalties of that song to charity of some sort.
I think, yeah, geez. Well, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
She's,
Yeah.
like
was
an
the
inner city
Bodyguard?
library.
I know.
Yeah, the Bodyguard. Yeah,
yeah.
What a talent,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She was just had a voice for days.
For
Oh, man.
days.
Days.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Poor kid.
Yeah.
And
Poor
cute as a
kid.
button too.
Oh, no. She,
Just a-
one. Yeah, I mean, she was great. And just fit the times.
Yes.
But again,
Perfect for that era.
I totally see her dancing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. It was just a really good,
dance with
big star. Yeah.
I want to feel the heat with
How
somebody.
dare you? Yeah.
We
And
should
yeah,
do it, Charles. We should do a record.
Censor that, YouTube.
Yeah.
We totally should do a record. I don't know. We might have a theme song coming, right?
Yeah, well, we do. We have something
Nice.
being in
That
the
works.
works right now.
So
from,
we'll put that on the A side and then on the B side.
Yeah.
I promise Mike he gets a
So
B
it'll
side
work.
at the very least. So, boys, thanks for taking me down the 90s memory lane. Some good, some bad. But sharing is caring. Anything new this week, guys? Any new restaurants, parks?
I just want to remind people that over in Burien, there's, for the limited time, at least this summer, is the last of its time in that area. At Three Tree Point, there's a place called The Store. I think I might have talked about this before.
Yeah.
But it's one of my happy places. It's one of those diamonds in the rough where the service is great with a smile, the food is good, there's plenty of beverages for everybody. Locals are coming in with their dogs, and they have trivia on Tuesday nights, and the community comes together. Just a wonderful space. Short little walk down to the shore there, to Three Tree Point, to the beach.
Nice.
And then there's also 2 trails just off of the store at Three Tree Point that they're like loop trails, little hiking trails that give you a nice view of the Sound. Beautiful view of Mount Rainier down there. It's going to move, I think, this fall. Up the hill to Old Burien, by St. Anthony's there.
They lose the lease or something. Or
It's just when you have a place that doesn't get visited, it's a being in the business.
It's like a destination spot.
It is, where you don't have a lot of parking, right? It's very limited parking, and you have people walking there, and it's a locals kind of an only place unless you know about it. And you just can't make any money in the gray days when nobody's coming in, right? And they've got
Still got money going out.
They got money going out. It's a beautiful little spot. It almost looks like an old 1900s post office. It was never a post office, but it gives you the impression it was because they've got a Pony Express kind of a thing on the wall, but it's like an old soda jerk kind of a place. But great salads, great pastries.
Yeah, I was going to say they're baked goods, right?
Yep, beer and wine.
Sandwiches.
Oh, flatbread.
Yeah. I don't know. Should we make a trip out there, do a sandwich?
Little sandwich trip.
It's a great idea. That'd be a great idea. And we could probably figure out how to make this mobile.
Something we got.
Well, at the very least, we got the Pod 4s, right?
Yeah, exactly.
A single camera.
We could make it. Yeah, we could make it.
So we get the chewing sounds in 3D. But sandwiches are important.
Sandwiches are great.
And helping out small businesses also important.
Better. Yeah.
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
So that was good.
What about you, Mike?
Denim played Lucky, so that's a couple of my favorites squeezed into one.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was fine. The Bogey, the singer, he fucked up his leg somehow, so he was seated awkwardly.
Oh, did they give him the Axl Rose throne?
No, it was just a
fucking chair.
Yeah, no, just a stool. Yeah. Kid. But they did fine. It's always fun to see him.
Nice.
So.
And that was Saturday night?
That was, Saturday night.
Oh, so you've got that film too, right?
Yeah. No, so that's on the YouTube.
Yeah, so go to the
Lucky Liquor 74.
Yes.
And it's by date. So just go on there, and then I also title each, because, there'll be 4 for that night.
Right.
Because after each band, I label each band and then stop it and then start it again with a new band.
Okay. Yeah, so go check that out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did a fine job. They're fun. Nice. They're they are. They're like if their replacements were rated R. Right, nice. And they're Paul Westerberg replacements. Yeah. Also,
early
80s or 90s. Yeah. And still fun. Shame about Ray or whatever.
Yes,
I'm not mad about it, but they're still rated PG.
Yeah.
But these guys write smart, fun songs, but they're just a little dirty.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Little dirty's nice.
Little Dickie Rossetti in there.
Yeah, yes. Oh,
it's like,
Dickie.
The trend right now is for women to kind of show all their parts by just painting themselves on the internet now.
Yeah.
They don't have to have clothes on. They just have to have
paint.
Paint. Right? It went
That's
from...
a trend?
Yeah. And if Rome is burning, at least we got
into this
that.
trend.
Good Lord. And I'm like, put some... it's this. You're talking about me, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Put some clothes on.
Clothes on, young person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to see all of that.
I will investigate this trend and get back to you.
It's disturbing to some degree.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, is it like Goddess Kringen?
Oh, yeah. Goddess Kringen.
Rolling around in the pain. Remember that?
Oh, my gosh.
yeah.
She was so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
but not that sexy. Yeah.
I wonder if she's available on YouTube anywhere.
She is on Facebook. I think I
all
might
right.
be connected to her.
All
But,
What did
that
she
might be
do?
an interesting.
She was on Channel 29 for Mass.
So she would do
Yeah.
poetry,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she
yeah.
just very arts.
Did she come on right after Mike Cunt?
Yeah,
Right. I feel like they were near
In
each
that-
other.
Okay.
in that realm.
Mike,
Yeah.
and I said Mike Hunt, not
Yes. Yeah.
what you thought I said.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mike Hunt.
So good.
Yeah.
Yes.
she would have the psychedelic, like the 60s kaleidoscope shit going on.
I always dreamt of being on Channel 29. Just like doing a show.
Yeah.
This is Channel 29 right
Well,
now?
we were on Channel 29.
Oh, you were?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, for the Live 29 or 29 Live. Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
There's a music program. A buddy of mine, Rob Hirsch, started
back in the
mid-90s,
something like
that. And I had a buddy. My brother did the theme song. His band did, and they were on 2 or 3 times.
But you went down to the studio. You went down to the studio.
Yeah.
You did the switcher thing, and
I didn't actually. I hosted a couple of the episodes, which the hosting was like, "Hey, welcome to 29 Live. It's so and so."
Yeah.
Who took care of the technical stuff?
Rob directed, and then we had some buddies like Billy ran some stuff.
Yeah.
And they had guys. I don't know.
there was staff there.
There was staff there.
Right. So you used their equipment, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And he booked it and all that.
He booked it. He had a certain time
square.
slot.
Yeah, it was a square joint.
great.
Yeah. And so my buddy Monty Hickman, who I worked with at Pony, he was a pretty decent bluesy kind of guitar guy.
He is a very good
had his thing, and I said, "Hey, do you want to be on the show?" He's like, "Yeah." Okay, when do you want to be on? He's like, "Oh, whatever, this week, next week, whatever." And I was like, "Okay, great, I'll let him know." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you got to find me a band." I'm like, "Motherfucker, I got to find you a band. You're the musician."
It's Seattle,
So
for
I was
God's
like, all
sakes. You
right.
could find one somewhere.
So got my brother to play bass, got Mike here to play drums, and Monty's guitar, singing lead guitar, singing.
doing
and
Red
then,
House and,
Gil, who was in my brother's band, showed up and he did rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
And you guys practiced like a half an hour.
I swear to God,
Like
it's
2 days before or something.
I'm like, you sure you don't want somebody else on drums, bro? He's like, no, you look the part.
Is that recorded? Is that somewhere?
Yeah, you can get it. I'll send you a link on YouTube.
Oh, that's the
I don't
best.
think the whole thing. I probably have it on VHS out at the house.
I bet you do.
But there are a couple of songs that you guys did that are on the YouTube.
Yeah.
So
I remember we did Red House, which is always cool.
yeah,
That's
it
a
was
good
all
song.
covers.
Yeah, because he was a Hendrix devotee.
Yes,
Yeah, but Dickie was Squirt was on there.
Yes.
Bone Cellar was on there.
Yeah, that's cool.
CXQ5.
Yeah, it was cool. Yep.
Yeah, a bunch of bands.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna look up some God. I want to be Facebook friends with Goddess Kring, 100%.
Yes.
And then Richard Lee. This is totally off topic.
no.
But I guess that was the 90s after Kurt Cobain died.
Yeah.
Richard Lee had, if the camera was here and he would say, Kurt Cobain was murdered, was his program, and he would just go with the camera right on his face.
Freaking crazy.
I don't remember that guy.
Oh man, it was intense. But he every once in a while, because he would play the same clips over and over and over. All these different are they incriminating or are they just out of context? But once in a while, he would play some shit that Courtney said or the police chief said, who might have been Kurlikowski at the time. I can't quite remember now.
Kurlikowski.
Is it
That's
for
a long
police
time,
chief?
Yeah, long-time police chief in Seattle.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting that mixed up with some... Never mind.
But once in a while, he would kind of hit you, and you'd be like, fuck, that is sus.
Yeah.
Something weird happened there.
Every once in a while, there's something that sticks to the wall. And
Yeah. Yeah. But then he'd see
Things that
Chris
make you go,
Novoselic or something, and Chris is like, you're nuts. But I don't know. It was weird. It was food for thought.
Yeah.
And it was good TV.
Yeah.
For just bonkers
For
Channel 29 TV.
stuff, yeah.
It was
Somebody
good.
was-
It was compelling TV.
That's great. Yeah,
And then
somebody
they had the Jew and the Samoan. Do you remember them?
No.
You don't remember them? Oh, it was crazy. They just a couple of guys that were just doing random shit.
Yeah.
And I just remember one. I think the Samoan dude was sitting on the toilet. He's like, "Hey, brother, I need." He didn't have any toilet paper, and the other guy comes in. He's like, "I got just what you need." And he goes out and he gets like the baby wipes.
Yeah.
He goes, "This is the." Fucking gold standard.
It's totally the Cadillac of toilet paper.
That's the only bit I remember. They did a bunch of bits like that.
It's like having your own private bidet.
It's really
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, until you blow up your plumbing.
Not flushable.
Yeah,
kids.
they're non-flushable. Oh my god.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they are
Everybody
until they're
needs to-
not. Everything's flushable once.
Everybody needs to open up that poop chute once in a while and get a shower of
the shower
chicken
of
juice
chicken
all over
guts.
them.
Oh, man.
Hey, there's speaking of music, live music. There's a place up in I've got to check out, and I'll report back to you next time. But there's a place that's connected now with Nectar called the Hidden hall, and it's in the old beer hall that was a kitty corner down the street. Remember they had like 65 taps on, and
Wow.
what was it called? Anyway, it was an old beer hall.
What area are we talking?
Fremont.
That's Fremont.
Oh, Fremont.
Yeah, where Nectar is.
Nectar
Yeah, yeah,
Lounge.
yeah.
Nectar
yeah.
Lounge. So Nectar bought, I guess, that space or that
Up
building
by
or
like the
whatever.
high dive and stuff.
If you're at the high dive, it's to the left and across, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you mean Nectar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nectar's close to that. And then the place on the hidden hall is by where the rocket is, just
Oh, okay.
kind of halfway down the block towards the water.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I got to go check that out because
Nice.
they must have expanded because the picture shows what used to be a brick wall or a rock wall that they made. It wasn't really rock, but it looks like rock. They spent a lot of money on the decor in there, not Hidden Hall, but the people that owned it before. I can't remember the name of it, but there's a stage now on that end of the facility. There's a big mezzanine up above and that sort of thing.
Jeez,
so
that's
it might be
cool.
kind of a cool
Yeah.
place to go see some music. And they got a full calendar
Jeez.
of music, website, and all
They
that
have
sort of
sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
Business expense.
Did you go join the Tuesday tournament with our new
yeah,
friend
with-
of the show?
yeah. Ashley Wheeler?
I did, and it was really great because she streamed it. She bought this gear.
Oh, nice.
Where it's a rig that goes over the top of the pinball machine. It has 3 cameras. One camera is pointing at you. The other camera is pointing at like the scoreboard. And the other camera is up on top pointing at
The flippers or whatever?
at the board, right? So you're going to be
Cool,
able to watch
dude.
it. So last night we streamed on Twitch
Nice.
and had a chance to
Any technical ups, technical downs?
I think overall it was a huge success.
Nice.
We had a
Glad to
few
hear it.
people,
Yeah.
half a dozen, I think, people watching at any given time. You can go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
But the one thing I would say is that just there needs to be an upgrade, maybe in cameras, the quality of the maybe not so much the person shot, but the
was
one of the board. Right, there might need to be more light on the board so you can see the ball better.
Sure.
Was it definitely the cameras or was it the uplink for the Twitch?
No, the uplink actually turned out to be okay. We thought we
pretty
weren't going to
solid.
be able to do it. It was pretty solid.
She go through her phone or something?
She did a hotspot through somebody's phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because the Wi-Fi connection there was not
That's
strong
pretty cool.
enough.
So was this rig that she got, was it specifically made for this or did she kind of gear it towards?
I think she got inspiration from somebody else that has
And
a
then put
higher.
it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like these
Yeah.
aluminum poles or aluminum deals
Yeah.
that are kind of rectangular-ish.
Yeah.
And they're like tracks, so you can attach things to
Yeah.
it. And then it's got a wheel system. Kind of like
great idea.
Kind of
Oh,
like
so
Yes.
so it doesn't actually touch the machine.
no, it goes
And
in
like a
right-
gurney. Yeah, no, it's a great
like a
idea.
crane that
Yeah,
goes
no, it's
in.
a great
next
idea.
to it. Yeah.
Yes.
It was perfect.
I kind of want one. I don't need it, but I kind of want one.
I'm trying to think
Yeah.
of what the application
We'll
would
I don't.
be.
You could for cooking videos,
Yes,
and such,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I would think. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Maybe we need to put one of those together for when Kenny comes on to make us a sandwich.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see Kenny today. I popped my head in.
We got to go take care of him this Sunday. We'll go.
Yeah, we'll
go
see him
chat with
Sunday. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, what do you got then? What's
cool.
new? And
Geez, not a whole lot. Swim is in full swing. So I had to volunteer last night. I ended up running the barbecue. I actually was the barbecue helper. So the dad that's the barbecue guy, is a Tukwila cop, but a long-time cop, really nice guy. He's running the barbecue. I'm running sort of the interface with the customer. So I'm getting the buns on the plates, and he's dropping the burgers and the dogs, and I'm handing them back and all that stuff. Well-oiled machine.
Nicely done.
But just joking with him the whole time. He's a funny dude. So we did that. The kid swam 3 events, did pretty well.
nice.
Where was this?
It's up at our home pool in Rolling Hills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then tomorrow night we're going to another pool here in Renton, a team that we've never competed against since my kid's been on the team. So looking forward to that.
How old group is swimming? A range?
Oh,
Huge
geez,
range.
they start like 7, 8 years old, 6 years old, all the way up to high school age.
Wow.
Seniors.
From what I understand, swim team is like brutal. Like the training is like 5 a.m. Maybe not for your guys'
Not for
deal,
ours, yeah.
But like if you're high school or
Yeah, no,
you're-
yeah, Clymer was it all through.
Oh, yeah, right.
All her whole life,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, with Stacy Fafaro.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Stacy Fafaro.
Yes, pretty much it. I was out in Linwood today and got a delicious sandwich from Mama's Soul Food. It's a food truck in Linwood. It's right off 164th and I think 36th West. It's behind a friggin' Shell station, kind of a rundown Shell station, but gentleman working the place, super nice guy. Had a great conversation with him as he's cooking up actual bone-in pork chop sandwich that was just delicious. Huge tomato slice, bunch of pickles, a little arugula.
Wow.
It was deep fried, so it was nice and juicy, and he had some kind of sauce, some kind of vinegary
Oh, man.
something,
Yeah.
some kind of acid on there that
Yeah.
just
Sriracha?
highlighted.
Or,
It wasn't super hot.
okay.
But it was nice
But
and
vinegary.
tangy and
Yeah.
vinegary, yeah.
Nice.
And then he's like, it comes with fries, and I'm like, okay,
Bring it on.
bring it on. So I mean, nice and fresh and hot fries,
Nice.
that whole thing. But really nice gentleman. So if you're in the Linwood area and you're hungry, stop by. It's not quick food.
What's
Took
it
'em
called
maybe
again?
It's Mama's Soul
Soul
Food.
Food. Yeah.
And
It's a
truck
food
up
truck.
there.
That's
It's
great.
actually it's like a trailer.
Yeah.
Back in there.
It's
So it's
fun.
sort of a permanent fixed
Yeah.
spot for him. But
Yeah, it's hot in there, so give that guy some love.
Yeah.
He's up there sweating bullets for it.
yeah. And he comes up and he's like, yeah, just so you know. I'm like, no, dude, I'm good. It's going to take a minute because I cook it fresh. I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yes,
Please do.
Please
yes,
do.
Yes, please.
That's a problem I want to have.
Yeah.
Patience
And
is
plus,
a virtue.
a total old family secret. I'm on the clock.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting paid right now.
I'm getting paid to be here, bro. Take your
right.
time.
Yeah, and I guess this weekend we are going to get together and bring you guys some more exciting content. So we'll figure out what that looks like.
Yeah, we're going to come up with some different ideas for shows and that sort of thing.
And the setup.
Yeah, we're on fire, guys. Yeah, nope.
Great job, Mike.
Yep. It's a rebirth.
Shelled out for some cool equipment.
Yeah,
We'll show you what it is, but
I'm excited to see what the quality of this
Yeah, me
particular
too.
broadcast looks like. Sound-wise, it sounds good in my head.
yeah, sounds great. Lighting's
Great. You know, we'll play
See
around
my
with it.
pimple?
Yeah.
Zoom right
It's
in.
Can you
not-
zoom in?
it's not 4K.
Yeah, the new
It's
cameras all have.
1080p.
Yeah, it's just 1080.
Yeah, you're
I'm
fine.
safe.
Yeah, we can't quite see the whitehead yet.
That's
The
right.
100-year pimple.
Yeah, that one that always comes back.
It just shows up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you again. Jeez.
Can I get that?
Boys, ending this here episode on something positive. And I was trying to find some good quotes about 1990s, about the decade. And this is one I came is A.D. Oliwat, who I'm not familiar with, but he is a writer. He wrote 1999 was a good year. Pre-9/11, pre-Bush, banging economy. The send-off to a pretty amazing decade and a century.
Jeez.
So,
Yeah. Who said that?
A.D. Oliwat, author.
Author. A.D. Oliwat.
Yeah,
What a great name.
99 was. I do remember that. The balanced budget. Didn't they end up with a surplus at the end of?
Clinton had a surplus, so
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
And I think a lot of Democratic presidencies do end up. I guess, and that's not necessarily.
I don't know if we're going to make it back there.
I don't know.
I don't.
$30 trillion?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, that's not the budget. That's the national debt,
Yeah,
right?
the national
but
debt, right.
but no, we
That's-
can't even. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you even begin to pay that back?
You never will.
You got to tax
Yeah.
the.
You just
Well,
print it.
I mean, you make a plan if you're serious about
You
it.
gotta
And
get it serious.
because the amount of interest. I know this is slogging it, but the interest that we pay on that debt, because other people own that debt, we can't just wipe it, right? Is a lot. Pays for all like food stamps and housing coupons.
Yeah.
It's just the interest on that.
Yeah.
So it is real money taking from real services that could be happening.
Yeah.
Right. But to tell an older family secret, we got the money for all those services. We're refusing to use the money for those services.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that's kind of I don't mean to put a red herring out there.
No.
But,
Mike, we're ending on positivity,
oh, yeah, that's
baby.
right.
Yeah.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my
As Mike likes to say,
Nice recovery, Mike.
cats.
Cats.
Cats. All right, well, thank you folks for being here.
Yes.
Thank you guys for being here. This is my therapy
Thanks,
day.
Charles. Thanks, Mike.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you think this episode is worth $1 or $5, the boys would love to have it. Please go to ourtownpod.store for merch or to donate now. For less than a cup of coffee, you can also join the website in the member-only area for exclusive bonus content, blogs, and more. It's just $3 a month or $30 a year. Thank you for listening to this production of Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.